All right. There we go. Hope Steve comes back. Hope Shannon comes back too. And somebody came in to the chat.
I need more booze.
Yeah. I've never felt like such a reject in my life.
I hope that, okay, I opened it up to live chat. I opened it up to everyone. And, of course, somebody comes in and spoils the fun and posts some porn or something. Yeah. Hopefully, Steve comes in. Can you guys monitor the live chat? Yeah. Monitor the live. Oh, God damn. Monitor the live.
I'm watching the live chat. I'm watching it.
Okay.
We're continuing a stream that has been going for a few hours now because it's the 5,000K anniversary.
That might have been.
And I'm putting on my socks.
Hey,
what might have been it?
The length of time? Does it roll over?
No, it doesn't roll over. Okay.
Well, it's a good thing that happened because I'm going to remind you, you have to do a post edit on the other video anyways. And so what I would do is I would download both videos, do all your editing, and then just upload it as one entire video.
You got it. Because the ass end, you were right, Steve. I should have listened.
I should be used to hearing that by now, but I'll never get used to it. But I've just been around a long time, so I've seen this thing. And what's weird is you had 19 people watching and still one idiot person. And I'm going to use the term idiot. Sorry, Shannon. Those people are idiots. And you can find out who did it by going in your outside chat. It'll give you the name of the person.
Steve's been around.
So this is why I call people idiots. I'm sorry, Shannon. I love you to death. You're literally one of my all-time favorite people I've ever met on the internet. But I'm sorry. I call a spade a spade. These people are idiots that do these kind of things, man.
Idiots, yeah.
Yeah.
Say someone is a moron when they exhibit moronic behavior. That shouldn't be stigmatized.
It's a statement of fact. Yeah, it's a statement of fact, right?
I learned my lesson. I'm going to have to edit out that ass end of the first one. All right. So is there anyone in here? Shannon, did Shannon get a re-invite?
She said she was on her way back.
Oh, she said? Okay.
She said she was on her way back.
All right, here we go. This will not put a damper on our fucking festivities. Here we go. So we're going to do the most inappropriate joke. Was I in the middle of a fucking inappropriate joke? Okay. All right. So an older man in a trench coat is walking a 9-year-old boy into the woods dark at night. And the little boy looks at him and says, "Gee, mister, it sure is dark and scary in these woods." And he said, "You're scared. I'm the one that has to walk out of here alone." Second one is the guy gets home from work. He rolls up into his driveway and he sees all his shit out on the front yard. And his wife is chucking everything out of the window. And then when he gets out of the car, she meets him at the driveway, and he said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she said, "I just looked on your computer and I saw all your search history, and you're a goddamn pedophile." He goes, "Pedophile? That's a pretty big word for a 12-year-old."
Yeah, I know that joke. Yeah, that was funny.
Ouch. Oh.
All right. So now, Lisa, your inappropriate joke.
I'm sorry, my phone. Okay.
Completely incorrect joke. Go.
Oh no.
What do priests and McDonald's have in common?
Oh shit! Hold on. I'm loving it. Right? It's got to be something with "I'm loving it," right?
What?
They both stick their meat in 10-year-old buns.
Oh, shit! That's good. All right, fair whisper.
Oh, she's drinking.
My entire life is inappropriate.
I could tell one for you. What do you call two men fighting over a slut?
Last Saturday.
What did she say? I didn't hear the punchline.
What's the answer? Yeah, what's the answer?
A tug of war.
Oh! Man.
What did she say? I didn't hear.
Tug of whore.
Say it.
I didn't hear the punchline.
No, you say it.
Tug of whore.
Tug of war.
A tug of war.
Oh
Man,
man, get with it.
Sorry, I can't multitask like Steve can. All right, Steve, your most inappropriate joke.
actually, I wrote this actually. So I used to write. People may not know I used to write e-cards a lot, and this was my most dankest, and actually got a lot of likes. But it's not a long joke. It's just an e-card, but it was you really need to grow up. No pedophile ever said.
Oh,
God damn.
dude.
What did I come in on?
That would dink, right?
The most inappropriate joke, Shannon.
Jesus. What's
You came back in the middle of something.
You really need to grow up. No pedophile.
Wrong
ever said.
time.
Shannon, be thinking of your most wildly inappropriate joke. Okay, Chris.
Okay.
Chris.
How do you make a dead baby float?
I don't know. How do you make it?
2 scoops of root, 2 scoops of ice cream and root beer.
One
Yeah,
scoop ice cream, 2
Ah!
scoops.
in a blender.
I was kind of on the same. At least I kind of got it. All right, TJ, inappropriate joke.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. Little Johnny had a stutter, right? So he went around to his sister one day and he said, "Hey, sister, why do I stutter so much?" And the sister goes, "You know what, Johnny, get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. Just go on." And so he goes to his mom and he says, "Well, Mama, why do I stutter so much?" She says, "Boy, get out of here." And so he goes to the mailman one day, right? He's like, he's done asking everybody else. He's just like, you know what, whatever. I'm gonna ask the mailman. So he goes, "Mr. Mailman, why do I stutter so much?" And the mailman goes, "Boy, get out of here before you get me in trouble."
I got a similar Little Johnny joke. I told it once.
Before I get to Shannon, I had to tell a Little Johnny joke now.
Okay.
So teachers in class, she's saying teaching them the alphabet, and she knows that Little Johnny's going to say something. If I say what starts with the letter A, he's going to say asshole or something. So he's like, oh, what starts with the letter A? And he's like, whoa. No, and she calls on someone else, and she says apple, right? B, and I know he's going to say bastard or bitch or butthole. So I'm going to call someone else. Okay, it's fucking baboon or whatever. And she gets all the way down the line until R, and he's like, oh. And she's like, there's no bad word that starts with R. So, okay, Little Johnny, go ahead and say what starts with R. He goes, a rat. She goes, that's really good. A rat, that's good. A rat with a dick this long that's going to fuck you in the ass unless you start calling on me more.
What the fuck?
All right. Shannon.
How do you know that the blonde has been working on the computer before you?
There's white out on the
White out on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
What was it?
Shannon, do you want to go next, or should I tell my Little Johnny joke?
I don't have any.
No, I didn't hear Fairway first.
Because I got.
What was Fairway's first?
What was the answer? What was the answer to that?
There's white out on the screen.
What's the easiest way to kill a Belgian person?
What?
Put when they're in I don't know. When they're in a helicopter, you tell that they're going to crash, and and you put a jump seat in the helicopter.
This is a complicated joke.
I don't know.
That must be some weird fucking Belgian
This drinking game is not healthy.
Shannon, inappropriate joke.
Why do blondes have dimples on their chin and flat foreheads?
Why?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Shannon, what do you call a blonde that's dyed her hair brunette?
Little Johnny.
Artificial intelligence.
Oh, there you go.
Steve, Little Johnny joke.
Little Johnny joke. One day, Little Johnny's mom and dad are having sex, and Little Johnny walks in on him, and he starts crying his eyes out. And Little Johnny's dad stops what he's doing and says, "Little Johnny, what's the matter?" He's like, "Oh, you're hurting mommy." He's like, "No, Little Johnny, I'm not hurting mommy. Remember that little brother you wanted? Me and mommy are making him for you." Little Johnny's like, "Oh, okay." The next day, Little Johnny's on the sidewalk, and he's crying his eyes out. And little Johnny's dad comes home and says, "Little Johnny, what's the matter?" Little Johnny says, "Oh, the mailman ate my little brother today."
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. You got one? All right.
He's like, I abstain.
All right. This one is probably
Smart
the
move.
worst one.
This all comes back to haunt us at some point in the future on our internet career.
I'm gonna spare Salisa and not make her go first. I'm gonna go with TJ first. This one is the worst one of all. Do you have your phone on you? Go get your phone. All right. Go to your favorite porn site, go to search history, and tell us the 5 last things you searched for.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
What?
Now,
Nope.
hey, remember you can drink. You can drink in lieu of
I
answering
drink.
the question.
I'm drinking.
Well, I don't even have to look at it. I know what it is.
How do you
Right,
find that
though. You
information
know all
out? I
5
don't even
of
know where to
them?
begin. I didn't know there was such a thing in history. Wait, it tells you the history?
How do you forget?
I know what I searched for, but I didn't know there's a history of it.
Yeah.
Wait, Chris.
Why is this happening?
Yeah, right. What is going on?
I've been asking myself.
Yeah, is
that
your life
for
flashing
hours.
before your eyes
Getting
now?
to know
No, I'll
you.
just drink.
Oh,
Getting to know
wait.
you.
Chris is doing it. Chris is actually doing it.
Now, I don't search for porn on my phone, but can I give you
No.
top 5 subreddits?
Give you the
of
stuff.
porn?
Yeah, you would have to do that.
Go to
Oh,
your
I can tell you
Google.
my search history, sure.
That's
Yeah.
all I think you Google.
Well, there's no porn on my Google search.
That's
because
all
I
right.
don't need
That's all
Google
right.
search
Just
to-
go to your Google search and the last 5 things you Googled.
The last one I think. Well, that's boring.
Oh, I'll tell you that. Last
Yeah,
time
that's-
things I Googled, I can tell you that.
We'll be the judge. We'll be the
No,
judge of that.
I gotta hear the last 5 things he Googled.
Well, first I need to figure out how to pull up my search history on
Yeah,
my.
seriously.
All right, I'll do mine.
I don't even know how to find that information. I'm so
See,
confused here.
You were scared to
Oh,
go
okay,
with
hold on. I got it.
You were sparing
Okay.
me,
We're
but I actually know my
Okay.
answers.
instantly demonetized.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
We already got demonetized because of that porn at the end of the last show.
Yeah, so it's monetized anyway.
Yeah.
That's what patronage is for.
Okay, ready?
No.
Oh, wait, did you get porn bombed?
Oh, I don't think we are ready, but go ahead.
Mine is where's the nearest quick trip on Highway 360? What does the back of the Plato Search and Rescue Team shirt say? What is the Navy Federal Credit Union contact number? What is the Midlothian High School LEAP number? And how do you say it speaks for itself in Latin? And the psychological condition where you hear voices.
Kinky.
I think that we kind of missed the mark here by not saying things that were in your porn search history.
Yeah, I don't know even how to look at my.
I wouldn't remember
history.
again, honestly.
I'm about to get.
I'd be
mine is-
happy to. I don't know how to find my data.
Yeah,
I know my Google search history, but it's very boring, to be honest with you. It doesn't have anything like that.
That's
I keep my
right.
computer pretty.
This is a question for
Clean.
people who
I
don't
don't
know
like to get viruses.
All right.
privacy search.
Here's my porn. Ready? Maria Moore, Nikki Huntsman. Father punishes daughter. Oh, I can't believe I just said that.
Whose daughter? Trump's daughter?
Stepfather punishes daughter. Cum licking compilation and Gilf compilation.
Oh my god!
I can tell you this. I can tell you this. I swear to God, I have never entered Gilf.
Like
I have-
humiliation
I
aspect.
have never entered Gilf in Pornhub or any other search engine, or that in my entire life. I've never searched for Gilf ever.
Yeah, but you're looking. You're not listening to the actual verb though.
Yeah.
Because there's a verb that says more about his
What-
type of porn
What was the
than
verb?
the adjective.
Wait, what was the verb again?
It's licking competitions. It's all
Licking
licking.
competitions. Wow. I'm not going to judge though. Not going to judge.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
Can I ask your age again?
No, why would you judge that? That's good.
I got nothing against gilfs. Hey, at my age, that's I mean,
What's
know,
a gilf? I don't know what a
Gilf.
gilf is.
That's closer to JJ.
Grandma, I'd like to fuck rather than a mom and like to fuck.
Girl, I'd like to fuck.
There's some
Your
really hot
grandmother.
grandmas out there.
No.
There's some really hot grandmas out there.
Gilf
I'm
is
gonna be a hot
grandmother's
grandma
like
one day.
Well, nowadays you could be a grandmother like 40, so it's not that bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't try to put a sugar coaster frosting on my weird shit.
You know what they say
No,
about grandmas?
no.
They say about grandmas because then they're always going to be way more thankful for
I
everything.
I'm just vanilla as fuck, and that's one of the reasons. This is one of the reasons.
All right, can someone else read their porn search?
I don't know how to do it.
I can.
I don't.
Benjamin
I can.
Franklin wrote a treatise on the importance of having intercourse with older women because they're appreciative, they're experienced, they'll
God
give
Great,
them-
that doesn't help me a bit.
They're very
They're
giving.
more free. They're more
So
free. They're more
All right,
free.
here comes TJ. Here comes TJ.
Anal videos.
Oh.
Anal for him, a cozy anal doggy style. Anal squirt.
Oh my gosh.
Ah,
Somebody left the back door.
yeah,
I know. I mean, but
At least it was
Backdoor
all
babies.
anal.
Okay.
that's so fucked.
I don't even know what to do right now.
I don't even like anal is so. I wouldn't even.
Gross.
If they liked it.
I don't know. What I mean, what
Okay,
am I-
This is what a group of prominent atheist YouTubers talk about on their, on their 5,000 shows.
Mm.
Well,
Where it was
for
like the-
shame.
I
God
love
forbid.
I love it.
All
Oh,
right,
how's
we
that?
gotta have Fair Whisper or Shannon to
I
give their
don't know. I'm going to be really super honest. I don't watch porn.
bullshit.
You
Oh,
read it.
I definitely do, but I'm
Oh, I
vanilla
do.
as
I
fuck.
want to sex. I would create a game and play it with someone.
Oh, I do that too. I like to watch it with somebody as well.
Lisa, So Lisa, let's hear your history.
Mine will
What
be
search topics?
James Dean hardcore, James Dean in bathroom, James Dean as students.
The male porn star. Yeah.
Yes.
Is he a big
Yeah,
male porn
He's a
star?
big male porn
A
star.
big male porn star.
He is my favorite.
Yeah.
So size matters.
I have my favorites too. So, yeah.
So size matters.
Nothing wrong.
Understood.
No, it's not size. I like him because he actually like looks at the female the whole time, like, and he like cares, like she goes first before him. And I don't know, it's just something about that. Just saying.
Aw.
Yeah.
How you like your
That
porn
in real
romantic.
life.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like my porn romantic.
That's cool. Nothing wrong with that.
Shannon's
you
just
know-
sitting here like, oh my
You
god. I
know,
love these fucking
no
I'm looking
female
it up.
ever
Find
had an
out.
orgasm on camera, right?
You guys are gonna be so bored with me. Holy shit.
I'm such a like
It's never happened.
I'm like
Never
I'm like a loner. This is why I'm a loner because I don't relate to this.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to do mine.
I'll go with that. I'll go next.
You should do mine.
Oh.
You should do yours.
Here's the funniest thing. I hang out with one of the big name BDSM people on YouTube, right? Brittany Simon, who I love, adore. She's one of my favorite people. We are just for some reason we click, and I'm so vanilla and she's so extreme, and I hear things that she tells me, and I'm like, I don't even know what the half the fucking shit you're talking about really is, right? So it's a world that is just incomprehensible to me. I never really got into it. I was stuck back in the day where you had a TV and you would tune it a little bit off frequency just so you can see on the selector on TV. The
I
thing
did that
like
when I was
this,
a
and you're
teenager.
like, oh my god, I got a nipple. So and you're downloading a 256K picture and it's in 8-bit. And you get excited. I mean, so
Yeah.
4K to me is like holy shit, right? No, I do like lesbian porn. I like the Sapphic series. But if you're going to talk about like favorite, I love Gina Valentina. Oh my god, she is this most stunning woman I've ever seen in my life. But I also like Kimmy Granger and Elsa Jean, if you know who they are. So
Mine are Devin
I have
Devine,
high-end taste.
Maria Moore, and Devin Devine. They're both.
Oh, Marina Moore, yeah.
You know BBWs. You know what BBW means?
Yeah,
Big
black.
Big,
golden.
beautiful
Yes,
women.
that's my thing. Sorry.
That's
Oh,
not something
I like
to
Latina.
apologize for.
I love Latina. Like
All right,
Latina's
Shannon,
amazing.
your porn search history, go.
I
I
like
don't like this.
really smart people.
What?
I don't like this.
I like really, really, really smart people. That's
Then
my
drink up,
problem.
girl. Drink up.
Wait, do they have sapiosexual sex videos on porn?
No,
I've never
I'm
said
sure they
that.
do not.
I'm going
They
to. I'm
don't.
actually going to look. I wonder what that would
They
entail.
don't.
I mean,
Really?
I
Like, here's something.
My God, that's a
Oh,
niche that needs to be
everybody's like
filled.
yelling.
That is a niche that needs to be filled. We need to fix this immediately.
Finally, a kind of porn I could be in.
Exactly. Okay, we're gonna take it, I guess, down a notch.
Because I'm definitely sapiosexual.
We
Like that's
want to hear though. We still want to hear your answer.
Yeah, I would love to. I'm
can we
dying
hear
to
your
hear at least. Okay, don't even look on your phone. Just what are some of the search terms you hit on your porn sites?
So here's the thing you need to know: if porn's not made for women.
There are some that are.
Yeah, and you know what's made for women? Lesbian porn is made for women, even if you're heterosexual.
I wish Courtney was here because she knows.
She's about to say that she searches for lesbian porn.
No, Courtney knows all the directors that are female directors.
It doesn't matter. I'll just not talk. That's fine.
Let Shannon speak.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So, lesbian porn's made for women, and the reason lesbian porn is made for women is because it's about satisfying women. Male porn is not about satisfying women. No. Most women don't have an orgasm by penetration. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, I agree with you 1,000%. Totally. Yes, most guys would be.
Most don't.
Really?
Most women are
also watching it is not actually something like that has anything to do with orgasm.
Most women are interested in watching somebody pleasure them, and somebody pleasuring them is cunnilingus.
Mm-hmm.
A
Absolutely.
lot of my search history has to do with somebody pleasuring a woman, and somebody pleasuring a woman effectively is not always a man doing it.
But they're pretending anyway.
All about whatever gets you off, right, man? I mean, that's
Can I introduce you to James Dean because he does it?
You could. I'm going to add that to my.
I got to clarify something. I'm a little confused here. I want to make sure that I have this straight. So, women can please women easier by going down on them, so men give better blowjobs.
No, not women can. No, not women can please women easier, but porn is made for men a lot of the time, not for women.
Right.
Watching a woman go down on a woman knows what pleasures a woman. Men are more interested in, okay, let's stick it in.
But we're also not visual. We're not visual in our
I'm very
visual.
I am
generally.
I want to watch what's happening.
Can I jump in real quick? I'm going to take it down one notch. We'll start with Celeste. This goes to YouTube content creators, so feel free to pass. But what is your one strength and your one weakness as a content creator?
Oh, God damn it.
I don't do it, and I don't do it. Those are my
All right. Fair Whisper, what is your one strength and your one weakness as a content creator?
I mean, do you really consider me a content creator? Am I a content creator?
Yes, you absolutely are.
Okay, well, I don't know what, under what, in what context, because you can look at this in a lot of different ways. I mean, I do have my real life, and so and I think that my weakness is that if I'm going to do something or make something, I have to really be in, a flow of that and, really, have, the drive to make whatever it is that I'm making. So then that being so, I can become completely uninspired.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make something I'm not going to put something out there that I didn't feel in the moment.
Yeah.
It's good. Shannon. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask though, so you feel like it's not so you feel like that when you're in the creative process, it's not necessarily natural feeling to you to have creative thoughts? That's natural for you?
okay, if I was independently wealthy and had all of my responsibilities taken care of all the time and had nothing to do except create, then I would be able to create a lot more. But because I have to come, like, I get so into whatever it is that I'm doing, I have to come down to earth after or whatever, then to do my responsibilities and everything that makes it difficult to actually stay in a creative zone. Plus, I have other things that stand in the way, just like practical matters that stand in the way of me getting into a creative zone. Plus, the fact that my creativity is divided among like more visual create, like painting or making music, playing the piano, guitar, writing music, singing, and making videos, making absurd videos, but also discussions and debates and my ideas and the way that I view things and where I stand on different issues. And I find it difficult because sometimes I would be inspired to create something, you know, as far as like different world issues are concerned or whatnot. And then I will just look and see, oh, well, that person kind of already did it. So, or that person already did it. And I do have like a need to create original like content. Like if I don't have really anything else to say except what 3 other people already said or 10 other people already said, then it makes it more difficult for me as well.
All right, Shannon, your strengths and weaknesses.
I think my strength and my weakness might both be the same thing. So my strength is that unless it's something that I'm enthralled in, compelled by, and feel like I can contribute to in a unique way, I won't do it. I won't produce the content. I won't just put out a video for the sake of having a video because the algorithm needs a video in order for my channel to succeed. I won't do that.
Yeah.
I'll only put out a video if I feel as though I have something to contribute and it compels me. But that's also my weakness. Because when I find something that compels me, it could take me a month to 2 months to research in order to make sure that I do it justice. I am not the type of person that will just be like, okay, oh, this is a video. I'm going to respond to it. And I'm just going to say what I think about it.
Are you perfectionist?
I want to make sure that I'm fully cited, that I have references, that you can be an advocate for your own understanding with my videos, and that everything that I say is cited in the description. And if you disagree with me, great, but go through the citations so that you can see why I'm talking about what I'm talking about. So it takes time, which means that YouTube's not a lucrative business for me. This is something that I really don't make money off YouTube. I really don't. Like I make a little bit. Like I'm lucky. I have some fantastic, amazing patrons who think that what I do is valuable. And I have some amazing people who watch my live streams and give me super chats, and that helps contribute to what I do. But I mean, I haven't put out a video in a while. Like I did a collaboration with Telltale that was a bit of my opinion, but aside from that, it's been almost 2 months since I put out a video. And the reason for that is I will not put out a video just for the sake of putting out a goddamn video.
Yes, exactly.
You go, girl.
I'll put out a video when I am sure that my T's are crossed and my I's are fucking dotted.
Right.
And what I have to say is relevant and cited. And I am an absolute advocate for people looking for their own understanding. I want you to research what the fuck I said. Whatever I said,
holes in it.
Sorry,
Take
I
it back.
gotta.
Don't look at it.
You and Paul both have that ability. You, Paul, are, and I don't mean this pejoratively, fanatical, making sure that the information that you get out is correct. I know firsthand because I'm one of the people that are in a group that we all have. We'll get the people to the right experts. If somebody needs a video and somebody says, "Look, I'm doing a video. I need somebody to really kind of proof it," we'll find them somebody that knows the topic. And there's certain people in that group that really want to make sure that their videos have correct
Paul. You're talking about Paul, not me. I don't have that group.
Well,
you're talking about Paul as if me and Paul are the same
What's
thing.
the difference?
And that's another thing that frustrates me.
Paula Shannon. Paula Shannon.
No.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, it kind of is.
That frustrates me.
What I'm saying is both.
Why? What does Paul know about psychology?
What I'm saying is both of you
and
are
what
very
do I know about evolution?
What I'm saying is,
she's got a point there.
What I'm saying is both of you are very fastidious to make sure that your information is right.
We are. Yes.
Someone in the chat thinks that there's a dead butt.
Both of us will definitely make sure that we don't put something out until it has been tried and tested.
Right. That's good. That's good.
I don't have to worry about that as much because of the fact that I also make like kind of artsy videos as well, where I don't give any opinions.
I talk about the state of people's mental health.
Yeah.
And if I am not careful, I could hurt someone.
Yeah.
I could hurt someone. And I am not that's not lost on me.
Steve, your strengths and weaknesses.
I think my strengths are basically I pretty much know how to ask probing, interesting questions, and I like to think that I have a pretty wide diversification of topics that I'm able to discuss. I'm not an expert in any one of them, but I have a general overview, a sound basic foundation of a lot of different topics. But my weak areas, I have no creativity whatsoever. I mean, this is why I got with Kyle in the first place. Kyle does all that artwork. Kyle has all that creativity, and that's why we mesh, because he didn't know the sciences. He didn't know, some of the in-depth topics that we talk about in the great debate community. And I didn't have the graphics ability. So that worked out really well because it brought much more to the table, because I really suck at doing videos. I go back to my early days. I tried to do actual videos, and I used HitFilm, and I used, now I use HitFilm, but I've used, Movie Maker, and what was the other one? Filmora. And I wouldn't say that they were bad, but the production quality is nowhere near what people have nowadays. And I realized this, and I was like, look, I'm not going to make it on YouTube if I go that route, to have these videos that have high-end content as far as their creativity, right? Not like, Paul G will make something like that. So I kind of took it in a different direction. And now on my channel, we have discussions a lot like Shannon does. And I think that people that want to listen to discussions about certain topics with people that are informed, I think that's a niche that we provide to people, because not everybody can do that either, right? I mean, not everybody can do what Shannon does and have conversations the way she does.
I didn't get to say my strengths.
Oh, go ahead, Fair Whisper.
I don't know. I think it's a weird question, because I think that other people should say that about a person. I don't generally go kind of on my strengths.
You should be able to say anything about anybody you want.
I'm going to give it to Chris. Oh, did you? Chris, go ahead with your strengths and weaknesses. I'll let Fair Whisper go next.
Yeah. I think I'm good at the visual side of things, from graphics to camera work, like behind the camera or post-production or stuff like that. Weakness, I think kind of a carryover from real life, is that I have zero chill. So you can tell the videos where I'm 2 beers in versus the ones where I'm 0 beers in.
We all have that, yes.
Awkward and stilted and charismatic even. So I've done about a dozen videos by now. I still haven't learned to just
that's funny,
myself
man.
in front of the camera.
He's goddamn quick wit, spontaneous wit.
He's got a really sharp.
He's totally coming to his own. TJ, strengths and weaknesses.
My strength is that I definitely don't have a problem with calling somebody on something when I think that they're wrong about it. But that's got me in trouble, and that's also a weakness.
It's a Jason Ellis, Steve McRae tactic.
It's a weakness of mine as well. I'm so
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm so no holds barred, right? I'm so no holds barred that it's
We
like,
love you for that.
It gets in the way of civil like banter. It gets in the way like sometimes if you're trying to have some, it can get in the way of that.
All right, my
strength. That's my thing.
My strength is I keep everything civil. Period. End of fucking sentence. My weakness is I interrupt my ass off. That's why I do this a lot.
I do this.
I interrupt my ass off. Fair whisper. Strength and
I
weakness.
think that my strength is that I'm just really not bound to like a specific like thing that I have to. This is what my channel talks about, or this is what my channel is about. My channel is just me and what I want to do, basically. And I think that I've done a lot of good that you can't see on my channel because it's all I've removed it all. But I think that I've done a lot of good in the discussions that I've had on my channel because I feel like there is a big necessity especially on YouTube and Twitter and everything for people to break out of their echo chambers and to talk to people who think very differently than they do and try to find where they agree and try to hear the other side out. And I also think that the best kind of way to figure out your ideas and your opinions on things is to play devil's advocate. And so I am a strong advocate of getting into the mind of another person and even defending them or defending their cause. And I think I've done a lot of that in the discussions on my channels, and I helped other people to do that. And I think there needs to be more of that. Like, I think there needs to be more discussion and debate from a viewpoint of like very old school. You have two kids in a team and here's what we're going to be debating, and you don't get to choose which side you debate. I think there needs to be more of that in the world that we live in right now.
Before I open it up to the last question, Fair Whisper, are you going to play nice with Anti-Ordinary from here on out?
What happened there, by the way?
Oh wow! I can send you the link of what happened.
No, we're not going to we're not going to revisit it. I just want you to. I just want.
I would really love. Here, let's just put it this way. I would love to be nice with her or whatnot. But I will not let myself be talked down to, and I will not let myself be treated.
At the very least, can we refrain from name calling and maybe personal attacks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only called her names on here.
It's a fucking win. It's a goddamn win right there.
See, that's a success.
She's somebody who's a friend of mine. All right. Like, she's somebody who I talk to outside of YouTube and
well,
Twitter.
that doesn't matter to me, you know.
No,
I mean, like
you
can defend her and defend her to all of the 5,000 people that are going to be watching this. You don't know me, and you don't know who my friends are, and you don't know anything about me or who I am.
I have no idea what happened between.
As long as we can agree to,
I have no idea. None.
As long as we can agree to maintain civil discourse and just for the bare minimum, refrain from name calling and just try to, because I know 90%.
She does that. She needs to do that.
90% of what you two are talking about, you agree on. That's the fucking troubling shit right there. Yeah. You guys agree on everything. You show empathy for what she's been through. And she doesn't realize that. And you don't realize what I don't know. I think you're talking past each other. Yeah. A lot of times you're talking past each other. Yeah. And as long as you can just really, it's simple. Refrain from name call.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what I said. Like the first time I came in here, you can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me a bitch or a hoe. The first thing she did in interaction with me was call me a bitch and a cunt.
If you look on our description section of our channel right now, you'll see the Atheist Edge 20 Commandments. And these aren't just thrown together. These are over 2 years of constant dealing with people. And I don't know which one it is, but if you scroll down, you'll see don't name call. Really, that's a game ender. Don't resort to name calling. It sounds simple, but it's
not name calling. But don't
all right.
Don't use a name that you've called your opponent as a justification
Like-
for why
like
your
TJ.
argument is correct.
like TJ.
No.
just-
Don't listen to her because she's a bitch.
Earlier,
No,
That's
T-
wrong.
but listen,
Earlier-
if someone is going to call me names and then they're going to say that's just the way I
Yes,
talk, then
exactly.
that's what
So
I'm going to say is I'm
well,
going to say, okay,
Victor-
and that's
Whoa,
just
whoa,
the way
whoa,
I
whoa,
talk.
whoa.
We
Well,
litigate this.
you said if someone's going to call me names and ... ellipsis. If someone calls you names, that's a game ender. Is what I'm saying is
Yeah.
TJ said SJW earlier in the broadcast. And I told him that's a pejorative, a social justice warrior. That is used as a pejorative. If you want to say someone who's an advocate for social justice,
It was a shorthand. I was just using it as a shorthand.
still it's a pejorative.
We don't need to litigate this.
Okay.
We did it.
In
All right.
my opinion,
Yeah.
Anyway. I think it's a pejorative, and I think
Yeah.
most people, even the
Why
right,
is SJW a pejorative?
if SJW is a pejorative term.
That's a rabbit.
SJA. Well,
Why are
it's-
you giving it that power?
Well, because social justice warrior
Because
is
justice
Because
is
too.
placing
Because he
that
told you it had that power.
is
Why
placing
are you?
placing a pejorative slant on.
Okay, but if someone,
Because why?
look, if someone is calling you names and they want to interact with you and they don't apologize and rather they say, well, I just called you that name, that's just the way I am, what would
Nope.
you do?
Sorry, it's not just the way you are. You got to curtail your shit to where
Right.
you're going to be socially acceptable, so we can continue the conversation.
Exactly.
Anyway, last question before we wrap it up. Now we're all kind of little fish. Shannon and Steve are they're pretty big fish, but I'm talking large fish, right?
Yeah.
I'm
talking
the little fish over here.
we're pretty little fish.
We're little.
Compared to Shannon and Steve, we're little fish. Salisa doesn't even have a channel, but
I'm
get a
just
channel,
a fan.
goddammit. Anyway,
Fangirl.
get your shit together.
Get your shit together.
Look,
I'm a fangirl.
I'm talking big fish. What is your dream interview that you would like to be on? What show would you like to be on? Salisa, do you want to go first or I can go first?
You can go first.
I'll go first. And then I'll go Chris and TJ, and then I'll open it up to you guys. My dream show is not Sam Harris waking up because he would intellectually black belt me to death. And so I got to go to some of my intellectual equal, which would be a fucking Joe Rogan. Then we could smoke weed together. We could hang out. We could talk about
each other.
We could. Oh god damn! We could. That would be badass because we're both MMA guys. We could probably go out and we could share some fucking different techniques of unarmed combat. That'd be badass. So Joe Rogan, TJ.
I would love to be on Philip DeFranco.
Ooh.
He has such a fucking large audience. He has such a large audience that I would love just for 2 seconds just to sit down and get the ear of how many people that guy's life has touched.
His influence.
Yes.
He's an influencer.
Yes, he's like so fucking virally like connected to the day-to-day experience of human beings on this planet. It's like, why would I not want to be like,
fuck yeah,
Chris, on a show like that?
What show would you want to be on?
I mean, it wouldn't be for anything atheism related, but
doesn't matter.
But Conan O'Brien, that dude's like my comedy hero.
Fucking Conan.
I haven't watched Conan in so long. Is he still around?
He's on.
Yeah.
I watch
Tonight Show debacle.
What's the last week tonight? John Oliver.
John Oliver.
I watch a lot of Rachel Maddow. Don't unsubscribe me, right-leaning atheists, because I do watch a lot of Fox.
They're not going anywhere
fucking,
because they know I got their back.
Okay. TJ's a right-leaning.
They're not going anywhere
our
because they know I got their
conservative.
back. Yeah.
TJ's our token conservative. So if you're
also our token black man.
don't Unsubscribe us.
What did you say?
The dude's dumb.
Token.
You said Conan, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What would you say on Conan? If he asked you, what questions would he ask you?
Oh my goodness.
Why did you invite me on? I don't know. Yeah. If we're talking dream shows, then yeah.
Okay.
I'll answer questions.
So Lisa, your dream show.
I actually used to do a local show on the internet radio, live and local show at the Curtain Club. We used to interview bands
Curtain Club.
and had bands on in the early 2000s. And I would say, like right now, since I still love music, I would want to have Ghost interview me. Ghost is a rock band from the UK. They're pretty badass.
Are they the like legit Satanist band,
That's their
or is that their
They-
thing?
That's their thing. Yeah. He at first said that he wasn't an atheist, that he wanted to believe in a God, but he said that his mind told him that that's a stupid thing to believe. So he's not an atheist. He wants to believe there's a God, but he found that he could make a lot of money on making fun of the Catholic Church. So that's their shtick.
Yeah.
And they're fun.
Before I continue, I gotta ask Steve. The ass end of that last show, when it's probably already gone to pre-recorded. Should I cut that part out where the guy sent all the fucking porn shit?
So you did get porn bombed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get porn bomb?
Okay, so did you private that video?
Did I what?
Private it now.
Private it now.
Before your
Okay.
channel gets a
I'm gonna
If
strike.
you do anything else, make that video private.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, before your channel gets a strike. God damn it. Yes.
Yes.
I thought you already
Yes.
did that.
Okay, before I do that, let's go on to Fair Whisper on your.
Okay, I'm gonna sound really like this is gonna make me sound really old, but like I would like to be so like epically famous or infamous that I would be asked for shows like 60 Minutes or 2020 or like things like that. Where you're just like you know, they ask Eminem on there. They like to interview them about like the just I don't know. There's like these or Larry King, but that doesn't exist anymore. But that type of show, I think I'm you know, I don't look it, but I'm 40.
I'm almost 40.
I'm
I
40.
can't-
Sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. So whoever's next, Steve, I think.
I mean, you're
well,
away.
You know, after being on the Atheist Edge, where do you go from there?
Yeah, like
Right?
Right?
Mission accomplished.
I know, right? I mean, granted, I can say I really want to be on the non sequitur show, but
Me too.
Yeah,
Me
we've
too.
been
I
on
didn't
it.
get on that.
we let other people on. It happens. But I would probably, you know, I wouldn't be well, I guess it's a show. I wouldn't Coast to Coast AM. That would have been cool. Yeah, it's a show.
So Steve, I made that first part private. Now I just need to go back and edit all that bullshit out at the end, and then I can put it out
Yeah,
again.
well, actually, what I would do while you're doing this, I would download that video and then immediately delete it.
Oh, good.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Before you get a strike, I'm not.
Yeah, even private videos.
Downloading it will take forever.
No, I can do that.
No,
I can do that while we're talking.
No.
Yeah, you can do what you're talking, but download it and
Yeah.
get off the server because even private videos can get striked.
Yes, and then delete it. Once you download it, delete it.
All right,
If it got porn bombed.
I can't believe you guys are almost 40.
I wish
yeah,
I was
I'm
almost
37.
40.
Yeah,
I'm long past that mark.
Way the fuck past 40.
Way the fuck past that point.
I am fucking 40 with a damn 2-year-old. What the fuck?
No.
I am
Oh,
I am 5 years younger than Aaron Ross, so fuck you.
My oldest is almost an adult.
My daughter starts.
Mine's
first grade
8.
this year.
You have kids?
I'm 37 with an
Oh.
8-year-old.
Yeah, believe it or not, I've had
Aw.
sex before, TJ. I know that's shocking to you.
I knew he had kids.
On more than one occasion, by the way.
That is
And I've heard I'm pretty good at it too.
self-absorbed fucking motherfucker right there.
No.
That Steve McRae's kid.
Shit.
Steve McRae's kid is a fucking arrogant fuck.
Oh, he
I
totally is.
Stop it.
She or he.
Punch
She or
him,
actually-
Steve.
Whatever the fuck it
It's
is.
a
That
she,
is
and
self-
absolutely
or-
do not bring people's kids into shit.
Confused. I have a daughter. I
It's
don't
a
have a son.
she, and she's
And I bet
lovely.
you
So
she's
how
great.
about
I
fuck
bet you
off?
she's fucking amazing. And I bet you she's fucking amazing.
I'm on the wrong screen, but whoever's
You're
at this,
crossing boundaries all over the place now.
Yeah, I'll set boundaries, and people's kids are the goddamn boundary.
Yeah, my daughter's pretty amazing. She's actually
Your daughter's
a
fantastic.
state champion catcher for softball. She's MVP every year.
Nice. She's a catcher.
probably an
Very
amazing
nice.
motherfucker.
She's gonna
just
go
like you
pro.
are.
Yeah, she wants to be a pro.
Just like you.
Fucking A. I'm the president of a softball league, Steve. I love that shit.
Yeah, I know you do sports. And
Yeah.
she
I
really
do.
wants to do it professionally. And I told her before, look, I wish she would get into science and stuff, but if that makes her happy, and she's good at it, I mean, she's one of the best.
I
in the
could
state.
get her into school though.
So-
Seriously though, Steve.
Yeah.
Like,
She's
to
got
be a catcher, you gotta be tough. You gotta
I-
be fucking
I don't-
tough, man. You gotta be able to take balls from the
My
outfield.
daughter was a green. I
Catch.
think she made it to green belt. Yeah, she don't mess around. She's a tough kid.
No, yeah, that's a tough position. It's not a joke.
My daughter can hack entire companies' computer systems.
Woo.
All right, there you go.
Wow.
Right.
Mine hasn't potty trained yet.
are
When
we
my
on
son
Chris?
could tell you every
we do
single
your
tunnel and the highway in all of Europe and point them out on the map.
All right.
Shit. The last one is, well, that wasn't the last one. If your show got, oh wait. If
I
your
never got to answer the last question.
oh, go ahead.
Oh shit. That's right.
It was what's your ultimate like
Dream
dream to
interview.
be on?
Interview you.
I got to be on the Thinking Atheist, which is pretty awesome.
Ooh,
Twice, which is pretty cool.
go off move right there.
I was on the Thinking Atheist twice, which was pretty cool. So that's a pretty awesome guy. But my dream interview to be on would probably be to have a conversation with Sam Harris about neurology.
Ooh, do you think you can handle that?
Love it.
Do I think that I could handle that? Why would you think I couldn't?
I just don't know. I put,
Are there things that you disagree?
No, I
Of course
probably
you
put
can
him up.
handle it.
think you'd be
No,
able
I
to
probably
slow
put him up
down?
on a huge pedestal, and I think that he would just intellectually dominate the conversation. But who knows?
My
When
question
Shannon's
is-
talking to him, who knows?
But my question is though, does she think that there are things that he's wrong about that she could?
Oh,
school-
I know he's wrong about.
Could she school him?
No,
on
you know what he's wrong about is fucking.
no,
No,
not a whole lot that Sam.
no,
Harris
what's he
is
wrong about?
him.
He's wrong about.
Morality.
No, not morality.
Yeah, I know he is.
It's
He's right in the sense that science can't explain morality.
free will. He's totally wrong about free will.
No, he's right about free will.
He's
No,
right
about
I
free
think
will.
he's wrong about free
He's wrong
will.
about morality.
No.
No, I think even as a neurologist, I think he's wrong about free will.
Why?
I think there's.
Why?
I understand. Here's
Justification.
Sam Harris.
I think we have a perception of
Justification.
free will, and it doesn't actually exist in the.
What's your justification? Why he's wrong
All
about free
people
will?
are wrong about free will and morality. Just in
I think that
general.
we-
Everybody's wrong about it. Okay. What's
He's
your justification?
be right about morality. for
I
sure.
don't.
This is a fascinating conversation. Why is he wrong about free will?
I think that. Okay, now this is me as a layman and him as an expert. I understand that, but he
Doesn't
says
matter.
there's a biological imperative. Yeah, sure, exactly. That before we even think about something, there's a
The
microsecond.
decision is
Yeah,
already
the
made.
decision's already been made, and I don't know if I.
That's true.
Oh God, if that's true, we're
Yeah,
fucked.
there's no way
It is true.
you can
It
make
is
No,
Why- why
not
isn't
because
that
we're
true?
fucked. Not,
Okay,
we're not
well, I'm
fucked
just
because
gonna
of
shut up.
that. Because if we were fucked, then we were already fucked.
Exactly. We're just molecules fucking
Maybe-
behaving the way fucking those molecules
Yeah.
are going to fucking behave.
Maybe I don't want to admit that we're fucked, but if he's right, we are fucked.
But you can't choose
Why?
a way that you can't choose to act a way that is
Not in accordance to your
contrary to
predisposition.
what your nature would be.
No, but-
like, there's
Yeah,
no way.
No,
mechanism-
the thing,
the
no, because you go
mechanistic-
through it.
Oh, go ahead.
But you're conditioned. You're conditioned by your environment, by your family, by your genetics, by a shit ton of things, and so you can indeed retrain your brain, and you can retrain your whole hormonal responses, and you can do that with or without even like outside sources. But
How can you retrain your
same
brain to have
time-
free will?
Yeah,
no, you can't retrain your brain to have free will. You can't.
Let's do this.
Because you were
let's
going
say
to, if you do retrain your brain, you were going to do it already.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's say
you were
this.
already.
Let's say this. If your next door neighbor is playing their music too loud and you're trying to sleep, right? You wake up, and what's to keep you from grabbing that handgun and going next door and spraying the place,
Your
right?
conditioning, your
So, okay,
personality, your
now,
environment,
I'm
your
not going
knowledge
to
that
talk
you're going to
unless
go
there's
to jail.
opportunity.
Actions.
In your brain, you're thinking, "What's the consequences of my actions?"
Exactly.
I understand
Yes.
that.
A
That
rational
is
consideration
that is
of the
a
consequences
that
of your actions.
yeah
Yeah.
that is you're predetermined. You understand that ahead of time. What is going to happen if I do this?
Yeah.
I
What
totally
if
get that.
everybody did this?
Jim, I kind of look
go
at it this way. I tend to most of our more critical beliefs are dostastic and voluntarism, meaning that we don't choose them. What happens is our brain recognizes we've made a decision. Our brain recognizes that we hold a belief.
Yes.
The brain recognizes that we're convinced, and then we do, right? So it knows before we know. The subconscious knows before we do. We just recognize it after the fact. Yeah. So I hold that position.
You're just
No.
affirming something I've always
I'm
said.
exactly the same, Steve. Like,
I-
do you make an act of
5?
What, Shannon? I want to hear Shannon. Shannon, please.
No, it doesn't matter what I have to say.
No, I really do.
Go ahead.
Whatever.
Shannon, go.
Please.
Shannon.
Okay, so when you make a conscientious decision to do something. So, for example, you just put a drink down, Jim. Did you make a choice to put that drink down?
Yep.
Did you just make a choice to put that drink down?
Jim can never put a drink down.
You did, though.
Yeah.
Was that an involuntary action? Who made the choice to do that for you, or was it an involuntary action?
Oh,
That was a cause and effect.
No, I have a problem with your presupposition. Is that
It's a
who
mouthful.
you
That's
said
my
who
what
made
is
the
my
decision to put that drink down? You said who.
Actually, I said
You
did
said
you?
who made it a choice to
No,
make.
he did.
No,
he didn't.
no. I said
listen, Jim.
did. You.
Right. Did you?
Who
You,
did?
which is very different than who. Did
No,
you?
I think I heard you say who made you put the decision to make the your drink down.
No, you can say that's what I
Who
said
is
all
this
you want.
who
But when I said
person?
did you make a decision?
Well, either way, did you make the decision,
An
Jim?
involuntary reflex.
Fuck, I don't know.
The easiest way to describe free will. This is how I do free will. By the way, I don't subscribe to libertarian free will. I'm not an.
I don't.
Neither do I.
But let me explain why I don't think it's the case. The way it be done is this: if you have a person that makes a decision between X and Y at some time, and you like rewind the tape and you put them back to that same decision, the same decision, cerebus paribus, meaning all things being equal, the determinist will say that person will make the same decision every single time. It is deterministic. The indeterminist will say that they have the ability to make a different decision. And I don't think that's the case. I think that all things considered, because your brain is making the decisions for you, you will make the same decision every single time with the exact same influences. Ergo, we're never independent. We never actually have the ability to make a decision free of external influence. Libertarian free will is just
exactly. You're right. They have it, but the only thing I would say in response to that though is that yes, they do in fact, regardless of what you say, they have the ability to make a different choice, but they won't.
But they don't.
right.
No, they won't. No,
Right.
they won't. Won't and don't have very different connotations.
Right.
Yes,
Won't
yes.
and don't have very different won't means I decided
Mhm.
to make a different decision.
Necessarily, I just think that's just will not.
Don't means
No,
I'm
Shanna's right on this.
incapable
Yeah.
of making a different decision.
Yeah, but then you have
And
to
don't
wonder
is the
whether.
case.
Yeah, but you have to wonder like
agree.
whether or not you're deciding or your decisions are decisions, whether or not your logic to get up to the point of that decision is of a free nature or isn't completely ingrained.
That's where the conflation comes in. The
Yeah.
conflation comes in because you have a choice of what situations you put yourself in. You do have a choice in that.
Yeah.
You have a choice of what you expose yourself to. You have a choice of all those things. What you do not have a choice in is how you react.
How you react to those
when you're in that situation.
Exactly, and this is why Shannon's spot on. One, I like the way Rationality Rules puts it. He talks about will. We have will,
Yeah.
but not free will. He does a really brilliant job with that. But I think what she's saying is that because of what she's saying, we have moral accountability for our actions. Because people say, look, if you're just deterministic, how do you have moral accountability? But the reason is, in moral theory, is exactly what she said, because you can make certain decisions. And you're culpable for them, right? You can't get away with this excuse where, I didn't do this. It was deterministic, my brain. No, you put yourself into certain positions, but how you react to them, that you really have your brain does that for you.
But you can train your brain to react and respond differently, and it's
How
not
so?
easy.
How do you train your brain? Explain to me how you train your brain.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Well, you can learn this in my case, and they've done studies about this as well. If you, for example, you can train yourself to respond internally, emotionally different. So people who, like myself, have a really difficult time labeling their emotions and sensations, and even to the point where sometimes you can't tell the difference between what is just a thought or what is an emotion or a sensation. It's all the same. It's a big gook of things in your brain. So you can literally, there's little tricks that you can use, and over time, when you use these tricks in your different situations that you get into, or in your day-to-day life, then you retrain your brain to respond differently to what is going on inside of your brain. That is a response of what is going on outside of your brain. But you literally retrain, and when you retrain your emotions, and when you retrain your recognition of your emotions and all those other things I mentioned, you're literally retraining your hormonal household. So your hormones also change with your thinking.
Yeah.
So your neural receptors can.
Right.
I agree with that. So your neural receptors, you can, your brain's incredibly plastic. So you can put yourself through ordeals, essentially, where you expose yourself to something that would be a trigger for something catastrophic, and you can teach yourself that it's not catastrophic. You can do that over time. Absolutely. I completely agree with that, because that's a chemical reaction. That is putting yourself through the cognitive effort of using a different component of your brain, the rational component of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, to combat against your amygdala. So essentially, you're combating against the thalamus, which is the conscious portion of your brain, and the amygdala, which is the reactionary portion of your brain. And you're using your prefrontal cortex. You're putting that into your awareness in order to be able to say, okay, I'm going to be consciously aware in this situation that I'm going to be okay when I'm exposed to this certain situation. And you can do that over time. Absolutely. I completely understand that. And when you do that, you can essentially that's essentially the crux of cognitive behavioral therapy. You can balance out if you don't have an innate imbalance that can't be balanced out.
Yeah.
You can balance out neurotransmitters in that situation. Like you can affect your serotonin reuptake so that it sits in the synapse for long enough. However, that being said, once you're able to do that, once you train your brain, once you're cognitively effective enough to train your brain to not be reactive in that situation, do you have a choice to be reactive in that situation?
Of course you have a choice. Yeah,
obviously it's like you're not going to be reactive. You're going to be responsive.
No, if you've gone through that trouble, and if it's been effective, it's either effective or it's not effective.
Yeah.
You've either gone through
But
the
the
trouble
will is not.
of making it. Let me finish my sentence for a moment.
Yeah.
You've either gone through the trouble of training your brain to be able to recognize those neural receptors.
Yeah.
And recognize those neural receptors in an effective way because you were conscientious enough to be able to be aware of it in that moment and be cognizant of it.
Yeah.
When you are exposed to that stimulus next, if you were effective enough over a long enough period of time and you are exposed to that stimulus and that stimulus no longer causes a detrimental effect, is that a choice that you made for it to no longer cause a detrimental effect?
Well, I think
That's a good point.
Or is it
That's a
no
good
longer
point.
causing a detrimental effect because you've gone through the practice of making sure it doesn't, and those neural receptors are what's important.
True.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's
their will, though.
That's what the struggle is. The struggle is that we are conscientious people and we're cognizant, and we really find it important to think that we think for ourselves and that we make choices. But when you drill it down to the fact that chemical reactions in the brain are all that you essentially are, that could be terrifying, because we could make the wrong decisions and things could be bad and everything could go wrong and everything could hurt us.
Yeah, but it's also
that is absolutely goddamn terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's also but it's also true that like you can be put like there's some like you can talk about putting yourself in different situations, but this is what happens when people are like all of a sudden like atomic war or like Hiroshima or whatever. They didn't put themselves in that situation. They're still going to have like an extreme
that happened
response
to
to it.
them. That wasn't based on their free choice. That wasn't based on their free choice.
Exactly, but
That
after that, like their responses and their reactions are generally going to be different to everything around them.
Certainly,
Yet they didn't make that choice.
Because the stimuli that you take in are what's most important. The stimuli that you do, whatever perception you have, perceptual cognition is imperative in formulating who you are and how you behave. And if what you're taking in is incredibly detrimental and tragic, then that is going to dictate what you emit into the world and how you behave.
Strong enough outside forces will dictate that the determinism of free will is not borne out. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Your free will is subject to external stimuli.
Yeah, it's completely
and your pre-programmed reaction to external stimuli, and that is out of your control. So where is your free will in that situation?
Yes,
that blows my goddamn noodle. That bakes my noodle, dude. That's baking my noodle.
Look,
can we move on, because that is.
Did I hurt your head, Jim? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Cat is talking about Zappa.
When you have me in a line.
That's the thing I've been trying to tell him for a while.
I am in awe.
Look, you can change the criteria for which you believe or don't believe.
I cannot handle that.
But you can't change what you believe or
That's beyond what I can
how
do.
you act.
You can't
Beliefs happen to you.
Yeah,
on one level you can, and on another level you can't.
You can change your exposure level.
Yes.
You can have control over what you expose yourself to, because you can make choices that way. Free choice is not free will. Free choice about where you go and what you do is not the same as free will. Free will is what you decide based on those exposures.
Yeah.
Free
and those are conflated.
Yeah.
And they're distinctly and importantly different.
Yeah, free will would say that we're free to make a choice without external influence.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to start with Steve here, and I'm going to end with Fair Whisper. It's a bonus question. If you have,
are we done
I'm
playing?
going to start with Steve.
Damn it, this still happening.
Bonus question. An instant $100,000, $100,000 to put in. You can't spend it any other way than to put into your show. What would you put into your show?
Oh, I would. Oh man, let's see here. Well, we already got very high.
More Shannon. You were about to say more Shannon.
I would use it to buy big name guests, I guess. I would definitely, you know, I would have to definitely get I would want a better mic system. We use vMix, which I think is the best you can get. I don't know what's better than that. I would definitely get a better computer. I would get a very, very high end Alienware type computer system.
No, build yours. Don't get pre-built.
I'll build my own. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
I would probably get a Lamborghini just because I would use it as a prop in the show.
I buy $100,000.
It has nothing to do with an art in the show, but I got a motherfucking Lamborghini, bitches. So yeah,
I got this.
yeah.
But if you got a Lamborghini, you got to put some vinyl fucking non sequitur show all over the sides of it.
And I would go on vacation to Tahiti and do an on-site location which we viewed from the beach.
All right,
Okay.
Steve, Chris, what would you, if you had $100,000, what would you put into the show?
I'd record like a kick-ass intro sequence with like car jumps and explosions and babes with machine guns,
Babes and bikinis with machine
Thongs
guns.
and butts and big
CGI
asses.
pterodactyls.
Yeah,
and
man.
All right,
all
No,
that
you don't need
stuff.
CGI. They still exist. Ask Matt Powell.
TJ, $100,000, what would you put into the show?
I would make a fucking trading card game out of the fucking show.
Ooh,
I would
because
create a trading card game based on
because
ATC.
someone's already done that. There's a guy.
Rationality Rules did that.
Rationality Rules.
See, yeah, it's already been done, but that's a good idea though.
No, it's a great idea.
What a great idea.
All right,
Market
so
that
Lisa,
shit.
$100,000. How would you start your show off?
I would give it to y'all because I don't need a show.
Oh,
That's boring.
I would.
she was
We
like,
gotta-
"That's boring. Don't give me $100,000."
Yeah. There you go.
Fair Whisper, are you still with us?
Yeah.
What would you do with $100,000 on your show?
100,000.
I think I would look for a small house out in the middle of nowhere where I could build a better studio with obviously with good equipment, with all of the basic equipment that I don't even have now for streaming and stuff, and soundproofing. But I wouldn't need to worry about. I think one of my main things is I have to worry about neighbors and things like that. But also, like, I would probably like upgrade my instruments and upgrade like the music site that I work with, and I would get a professional video editing thing, because I don't even have that. I actually use a free video editing thing, and just all the basic studio stuff. But then I would make sure that my studio was out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Shannon, $100,000. What do you do?
I'd get a new computer immediately.
Okay.
Immediately. Because I'm operating on a 2008 Acer right now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's absolute garbage. It can't even hold video editing software, which is why Paul edits my videos. Not because I'm not capable, but because my computer will crash if I attempt to put video editing software
You
on
guys
it.
are on the opposite sides of Canada from each other. You have to like fly to visit each other, right?
We do, yeah. The next time we'll see each other, we'll be in Dallas at Faithless Forum.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be there,
Are
bitch.
you gonna come hang out?
And,
with
oh
us?
wait.
You gonna come hang out with us?
Wait.
Yeah, come hang
Yeah.
out.
Are you guys going to be at Faithless Forum?
No, we live here. This is our
Oh,
fucking.
are you in Dallas?
We
Okay,
live
so I
here.
don't know. Okay, so here's the deal.
And
I'm
wait,
gonna be
here.
and we have brand new business card. Oh wait, we have brand new business cards.
Yes.
We have
Am
brand
I
new.
going to be good enough to interview on your show? Because like you do
You're gonna
tourists. I mean,
We have brand new fucking.
oh,
We have
I'm one
brand
of
new.
the speakers.
We've got all the swag. You
And
want
we're
all the
I'm
gonna
one
swag?
of the speakers there.
So I'll give you a
Awesome.
heads up. We are going to interview all the Faithless Forum people on the side chat. We're gonna do it out in the hallway. So get ready, you and
Okay.
Paul and everyone.
You ready?
Yeah.
And
You
we're
can
gonna,
do me and Paul together. Paul and I'll do it together.
yeah, we are totally we're gonna do you separately.
But just heads up, we're probably going to be making out a lot.
We
we only see each other every so often.
You need to hit up for that.
April 27th, we're gonna
What's
do
up?
all that, and we're right here, dude. It's only like
I land in Dallas on the 26th, and I'm in Faithless Forum on the 27th, and then I'm in the hotel that night in Dallas. But then on the 28th, I leave to go to Austin because I've got to go visit people at the ACA.
And would love to just have
And
you just
Surus-
hang out at the fucking.
You see
and
this
do
couch
some
right here?
pre-recorded shit, man. Just sit here.
See this couch right here? That's where
And-
Surus is gonna be sleeping that night.
Is it really? Well, thanks for inviting me. That's fine. Whatever.
And
Fine. I'll pay for a hotel. Cyrus can have the free couch, and Paul and I'll just pay for the hotel. That's fine. Thanks for offering. That's great.
Aw.
if we had more
It's good
room,
to
we
know.
would offer you. Oh,
No, I'm just joking. I'm just being an asshole.
You can fucking sleep right in my fucking bed. I don't
no,
know.
no. We
Paul
can't.
would probably be
Oh
pretty
my
upset.
goodness, you're gonna get laid so many times by so many different people, Shannon, when you're
No,
there.
I'm gonna get laid by Paul, and that's the end of the people.
If you did mind spooning with me and TJ, you and Paul could just do
I mean,
Paul might spoon. I'm not into it.
you might be okay with it. You know, I mean, it's like, oh, hey, guy, what's up, man? Hey,
All right,
hey.
Steve, 100 grand. Oh,
Bam.
did we already ask him?
He already said he's gonna get a Ferrari.
Yeah,
In the back.
and going on
A
going on a trip with-
Lamborghini.
or going on a
Chris,
trip to
we
Tahiti
already
with Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't afford a Lamborghini. Costs more than $100,000.
No, you can get
Okay,
it.
me, 100 grand. I would get.
used Lamborghini.
So we got
Me.
Jim.
I would get a Canon. No, Sony. Because we're using a shit
He
fucking
dreams
audio.
of-
Our audio is decent. Can you hear this? Our audio is fucking decent right now.
I don't have
Yeah,
like
audio's fine.
No, but I think we
That's
need
a
better
shame.
audio now.
He has dreams of video equipment.
But the thing with Sony and Canon is it only records, it parses after 30 minutes and it
Yeah.
stops. So I need a good video camera that will continue because we do 3 hours plus. I don't need a video camera that parses after 30 minutes. I need something
that
that
continuously
continuously
keeps rolling.
keeps rolling. So I need a good video camera and I need good, great lighting. I need some
Go ahead and
LED.
get it, buddy.
No, I want some LED good fucking lighting.
Okay.
And
I'll-
our
I'll
green
let you-
screen.
I want mood lighting too. Great. I take that back. I don't want the car. I want mood lighting.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
want, our green screen can only handle 3 people at a time. I want a green screen that travels
That's
the
a
wall.
It's a chroma key or something.
Oh my god, you want to see what happened? Like, this is my green screen. Look at this.
in a panel.
That's because I'm here, native atheist.
That's how shit goes.
So I would get a
Oh.
bigger green screen that I could do 6 people at a time instead of 3.
Mhm.
And that's yeah. The last
Flash us some
thing.
more.
What is
The
our
la-
last thing?
Our last
Is
thing.
this still happening?
Last question. This is the last question for Salisa. If you could give up your day job and do this full time, how would you do it?
Give up my kid.
Ah,
No.
Oh,
That's not gonna happen. So give another.
Well, no, because my day job is my kid since I'm an at-home
Yeah,
mom.
exactly.
I guess I would have to pay for daycare.
yeah, it's expensive. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
I'm a
Fair
single
whisper.
mom too.
Yeah.
Fair Whisper. If you
Or I'm
If
a
you-
single mom.
if you were making Fair Whisper, if you were making enough to make this your full time job, how would you live your life differently?
Well, I suppose I could, really focus on it, and that would, I don't know, I just could focus more on it, and that then how would I live my life differently? I don't no, I don't have a lot of, because of my fibromyalgia and having had cancer, I don't, this is not my full-time thing, but it's like, I would focus more on it, but I still have my other things that I need to do.
All right, I need to ask Shannon
Yeah.
the
Wait,
question.
I need to ask Fair Whisper. She's got fibromyalgia. fibromyalgia. But
Yeah.
cancer, tell us about that a little bit.
In 2012, I had Hodgkin's lymphoma and BCOP therapy. So I had 5.5 months of 7 chemotherapies through each other. And I had a really long process of recovery, and there is always a chance of return. But like I was their star patient and their star recovery because of mostly because of martial arts, but also because of with the help of THC oil. I feel it helped me a lot in my recovery after the chemo.
Who do you credit with your recovery?
Who? Why do you say
who do you credit with your recovery?
Why do you say who?
Because there are a lot of doctors and probably a lot of medical.
Well, my recovery is different than the actual chemotherapy.
Okay.
So, I mean, most people, I don't know what it's like in America, but once you are healed, you're basically on your own until it returns again, and you get your checkups and things like that, and like they give you advice on like what you should do, and a lot of that is usually like, you know, physical activity, and make sure you pay attention to your diet, but it's a lot harder in practice than it is the way that they bring that. And I feel like the THC will help with being able to, you know, get the activity going, and the food as well, probably. And the martial arts, the reason why that physical activity made me more of a star recovery patient is because martial arts is very different than physical therapy.
I have to butt in. I have to ask, what martial art do you practice?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I worked in a dojo for 2 years, and I was in that dojo for 3 years. And my main martial arts that I practiced at that time was ninjutsu, but I also did Krav Maga and a little bit of Aikido and a little bit of kickboxing. And
you know I have a black belt in ninjutsu, right?
No.
I have 4 black belts, and one of them is ninjutsu. Holy shit!
Oh wow, that's so cool. I'm only red belt, and I'm a girl. You have to remember I'm a girl. But the good thing about ninjutsu is that everybody's you know, equal. So like girls, I could fight against someone who is a head taller than me. And you don't have that in every martial art.
Yeah, in ninjutsu, shinobi is the female version of ninjas, but there really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, konichi. Sorry,
Yeah.
shinobi is ninja, and konichi is the female ninjas.
Yeah.
People don't understand when you say like if you say culturally nowadays, if you say you ninja that shit, it means you stole it or you pilfered it or you
exactly.
Yeah, it's got a negative connotation. But the true origin of the word ninja is the farmers in the eastern area of the Togakura. I'm getting off on a tangent, but it's a specific region in Japan that were farmers that were caught between the two warring shogunates.
Yeah.
The Kiga and the Toku.
Yes. Yeah. And they were hired by the shogun clans to.
There were no.
And the thing about the female ninja basically is that like they were used more oftentimes in more of the spying jobs. So ninjas had to take any job. They couldn't be moral about their martial arts, basically, depending on how you look at it, because they were survivors. They were driven out of their places where they were wood people.
Where did you learn ninjutsu?
In the dojo.
Like
here in Amsterdam.
Which style were you? Were you Togakuru, Stephen Hayes, or
unarmed? Unarmed. Oh, there's 9 schools. There's 9 schools in ninjutsu.
The unarmed version of ninjutsu is called taijutsu. It's just the unarmed version.
It's Budo taijutsu.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off on a tangent.
No, this is not a tangent. This is a good conversation.
This is good shit, man. Fun stuff to talk about. Yeah, there's bojutsu, which is just the staff version. There's
You want to see my staff?
Pulling the sword out of the scabbard, dude. There's a whole art to pulling
that. Yeah.
Not just sword fighting. There's a whole art to pulling the sword. The actual practice of pulling it out of the scabbard. You can get a black belt in just pulling your sword out of a scabbard.
Yeah. There's
a tea ceremony
in ninjutsu, yeah, but it's also they have all the different schools. So they have also like the science, the physics side of things. So the very ancient physics. So they already ninjas knew how to carry fire. So they had a flint in a box, basically that was always lit.
Someone's going to fact check me on this, but it's called Oniki no Jutsu. It's the art of the demon fire. It's being able to put pyrotechnics inside of the shurikens.
Yeah, and so then you also have hiding and so I don't know what it's in English, but so like crawling techniques. And the difference between ninjutsu and a lot of other martial arts is that you have 8 stances, and these stances.
Jumanji.
That's right.
Yes, I knew all that shit once way back when. Jumanji.
Yes. And the other thing is that a lot of times they take ninjutsu and they teach it to police and to the to the military and all of these things. They use it because it's a very natural martial art. So it's really interesting because if you go into other martial arts, then a lot of times if you have a really good ninjutsu base, you can get your next belt very quickly in the other martial arts because it's so broad in its teaching. And ninjutsu they were warriors, yes, but they were wood people, so they had to do their martial arts to survive. So they had to they couldn't care about it being this one holy martial art. Whatever worked.
Yes.
If you look at all the weapons,
it was a pragmatic.
If you look at that
pragmatic response to the way that they were living.
If you look at that sickle tool, it's called a I can't remember the name, but that sickle tool had a name.
A way of defending their homeland.
Nunchucks are not
originally used. You want to see my nunchucks?
Yeah, nunchucks were originally used to just beat wheat.
Anyway,
sorry, we're off on a tangent.
Show has gotten kinky.
Yeah.
All right. So
wrap up time.
Who did we not get to on the $100,000 question?
Everybody's done.
Everyone's done. All right, we are, I think, done, people, and that is it. And
congratulations on 5,000.
Thank you, and that is awesome. And we're halfway to 6,000 already. We kind of hit this late, but
these are soft, though. I mean, they're soft because you're not allowed to have the hard ones.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Sorry. Final thoughts for Salisa? Any plugs or any upcoming events?
She's bringing out nunchucks, and you're gonna ask me about plugs?
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of show is this turned into? Whoa.
Do you have any plugs or anything upcoming?
Y'all are my plug.
All right. Fair Whisper, do you have anything upcoming or any
well, I mean, on Twitter, I guess that JF Garipi has said he would like to debate me on the matter of the ethno state, but it's kind of dependent on some people. I won't mention them here. But
holy shit! I know who you are now. And I'm dependent on his busy schedule, of course, because he's Mr. YouTube, right? So one of the Mr. YouTubes, right? So there's that, but that wouldn't be on my channel. I'm not sure where it will be just yet. Also, I have a friend of mine who used to have a channel wherein she was talking a lot about psychological things that she had personally been through and was trying to combat a lot of the kind of enablement of the cutting scene
on the internet, and she just recently removed her channel. So I'm going to be interviewing her about that and some other things. So my channel is / Fair Whisper Goddess, or you can look for Edge Mastery or Goddess of Edge. On Twitter, I am / Fair Whisper. I post everything there that I do. So the best place to follow me would be there. What else you can look forward to on my channel is that I actually have made it kind of my goal right now at this period of time to go onto different people's channels and join them in their discussions as much as possible or where possible. So that's what I've been doing for the past few months, and that's what I want to continue to do.
Well, we thank you for our show and being
thank you. It's really nice.
Shannon, plugs upcoming events.
Yeah, so I'm garbage at planning upcoming stuff. I have the Messianic Maniac and Ozymandias Ramses, when I can nail them down on a date, coming to talk about the philosophy of the soul. So that should be interesting. I'm probably going to go on Steve's channel and talk to Ozzy, because they've been trying to get me to do that for, I don't know, a month. And I've been like, I'm a presuppositional apologetics. Because it annoys the shit out of me. I'm currently in the midst of doing all kinds of research for my next how to be a Christian counselor video. And I'm going to be on the Non Sequitur show to talk to Armin and Bibi on April 8th. And also, Paul and I are going to be on as prelude to the Faithless Forum on April 2nd. And I'm hosting Modern Day Debates on Tuesday, and I don't know, I'll probably be like, I'm YouTube. I'm YouTube.
Busy little feeder.
Yeah, just turn on YouTube. Just type in Shinnick.
Just go to Shinnick, you'll see all that shit.
Steve
Ray, plugs upcoming events.
Yeah, tomorrow I will be having a hangout tomorrow, and I think it's going to be with Shannon and Ozzy and. But we are going to be discussing a few things. People may not know, but Lana Kurt Knoll got permabanned from YouTube. Lana Kurt Knoll has been around for a long time. He's one of the greatest mathematicians.
Same as this guy.
Your greatest math. You're great. Oh, GC. I was like, you're great mathematician.
I'm wearing in solidarity. Yeah. I'm wearing my GC shirt.
GC he got what? What happened to GC?
He didn't get banned, but he got permanently demonetized. No super chats, no end cards,
right.
Nothing.
So we're gonna have a discussion on that, and I'm glad you brought that up, because GC, and also people may know that I got removed from the Atheist Republic group on Facebook for
God damn it.
for supposedly for trolling.
You want to fight with me right now?
Right, and promoting woo. I was promoting woo. Explain this to me. Now I've talked. Well, hang on. I've talked to Armin, and I've talked to the moderators. They're voting on this, right? Yep. But the person who gave me the boot, I had like 5 messages to him. Right? It's basically a hangout tomorrow. Going to be talking about admins and the heavy-handed techniques that we're seeing when you're having a conversation with somebody, and you have a conversation with an admin of a group, and they don't like the way it's going, and they make them look bad or whatever, even though you're being perfectly nice to them. They boot you, and I think that's a very ineffective form of communication. And then wait, let me finish. And then they make the narrative where you're pitching woo, and I'm like, do you understand my channels? I do not promote woo. I am not into supernatural stuff. I'm very much against any of that stuff. You're literally telling me I'm doing something that all my channels are against because you've never watched any of them. And so I did contact Armin. Armin has been very civil about it, and he said he would look into it. I know he's doing a Non Sequitur show, but we are going to hopefully. And I told the admins this. Look, if you resolve this, I will sing your praises. I will say this is how you resolve an thing. This is how conflict resolution should be done, and this will acknowledge that. You probably shouldn't have moderators booting people just because they're having a disagreement with somebody, right?
Armin guys are really pretty diligent with all that kind of stuff.
Well, we'll see what their decision is. Yeah.
Steve,
I don't think that, that was anybody that actually truly represented their take on the matter. It was somebody that they have employed.
Armin was in the middle of a talk in Calgary, and I know that for a fact because my boyfriend was sitting in front of him at the time.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, because you tagged Armin in a bunch of stuff.
No, I tagged him in one Facebook post.
And then on Twitter.
Once on Twitter, yeah. And but he did respond. And so yeah, that was
because Armin's incredibly reasonable.
Yeah, no, and I said,
do you not think that you were being in the slightest bit condescending against the person that you were talking to?
Steve,
really?
Steve would never condescend someone.
Admin said, Shannon, let me finish. Shannon, let me finish. You asked me a question. The admin said being condescending is not against the rules.
No, it's not. That's not
okay. So that doesn't really matter. I was being condescended too because my post was being the admin said something, right? The admins made a comment. And I asked him to elucidate on it, and he said, that he wouldn't. And I'm like, well, then I can dismiss your claim, right? Yeah. What's wrong with that? I will be condescending when it comes to that, because if you tell me no and you don't give me evidence, I'm going to apply Hitchens razor. That's to anybody. Admins are not exclusionary of that.
What did you answer when you applied to go into the
I never insulted him.
What did you answer when you applied to go into the
I said I do not
group?
I do not
believe in God. Are you going to let me finish my sentence? What did you reply when the question was, this group is exclusive to atheists?
No, it's not.
How did you become? I posted a picture.
I will answer this question for you, Shannon, and you're incorrect. Let me explain to you why.
Look,
I have.
Thousands of
Can I have to answer the question? Because I already answered this for her. The rule is
you become an atheist, Steve.
I cannot answer the question if I'm being talked over, Shannon. Can I answer the question, please? Can
Steve's
I
like this and she's like this.
Right? Let me ask this question. The question was, there's two questions that are asked when you join. The first question, they only saw the two that you asked me of. So the first question was, do you believe in gods? I said, no, I do not believe in gods. I have no God belief. The second one was, are you an atheist? And I said, no, I'm not an atheist.
Nope, that's not the question, Steve. God damn it.
No, wait, what's the second one?
Yeah, you are, but we've had
that. This group is
for atheists, yeah.
To atheists.
Right, and
How did you
let me answer. Let me answer. I said, no, I'm not an atheist. I have no God belief. I'm agnostic. That is how I answered the question. And in rule number one says this group is open to all non-believers. Yeah. That is in their rules. Go look. Open to all non-believers. That is their rules and their charter.
Then what happened after that?
What do you mean? Well, I haven't found out what they just made decision, but that's in their rules. And they cannot say this is open to all non-believers. And when I put on there, I didn't lie. I literally have said on there, I am not an atheist. I did not say that I was. And I'm still admitted. So don't go there, Shannon. That's really kind of not cool. When I answer the question very truthfully.
So you said, can I say I'm an agnostic. You answered the question, I'm an agnostic, and they were like, cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
because it's a non-believer.
This is a problem in other areas of
I don't hide that from anybody.
The internet.
No shit. No shit.
This is one of those things where it's an echo chamber problem. So it's like, even if you you have to have and fit into this label. And even if you fit into that label, if you have sometimes in certain environments, in certain spheres, the audacity to play devil's advocate, even if say you're not, even if you weren't agnostic you were atheist, but you said, look, I'm going to just say from an agnostic viewpoint how this would be, you would still get the same reaction.
Yeah, and let me ask you on that. And you're right, but here's the thing. I even told the admin when he asked me, you said, you're an atheist, right? I said, no, I'm not an atheist, but I am agnostic, right? Now, here's the thing. Under their own guidelines, agnostics are atheists. So now that it becomes the thing is, what's more important, taking the label of atheism or just having a non-belief, right?
Okay.
Well, the most important thing is having the conversation.
I agree with you, Edge. Exactly. Thank you. So it's more important to me.
I'm going to log the fuck out because I can't even get my...
You asked the question. I'm trying to explain it.
what
No,
the
I understand.
what-
I understand that. I respect the fact that you answered that accurately, and I respect that of you, Steve.
Yeah, I would never lie about
But
that.
here's the thing. No. I don't think you would. I don't think you would, because you're pretty adamant about it. Holy fuck! But
Yeah.
Yeah, he has his.
so they let you in, like. So here's the thing, though, Steve. Sometimes, and here's the point that I was making to you on Twitter. The point that I was making to you on Twitter is sometimes, I don't even know if you mean to do it,
Watershed
but
shit, man.
when somebody says, like it almost seems like you approach this particular topic as though you're ready to just scorch the earth and fuck everybody.
No, I'm just matter of fact
Because-
about it. No, that's not true.
Yeah, I understand that
I'm
you
matter of
are,
fact
but
about
you're matter of fact
But
about
Shannon,
it.
let me
and
ask you this.
it
I have a
seems-
question for you.
I'm not a fuck. All right,
So I have a question for you. What is more?
Mhm.
Hang on, TJ. What's more important to these groups? And this is a critical thing. Is it more important to take the label of the atheist, or to say that, hey, we're all non-believers?
It's more important for you to say.
Is it more?
People you want?
No,
to
stop.
I
adopt.
wasn't asking you, TJ. I was asking
That's
Shannon.
a really good question. Is it more important to take the label atheist than to just take the label of non-believer?
Right.
Is
Think
it
about
more
that.
important to you, Steve? Is it more important to you to create polarization between all non-believers over
I'm
the
not.
semantics
That's
of
not
the
what he's
label?
doing.
That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm doing
That's
the
what the
opposite.
other side is
Shannon,
doing.
Exactly.
Right.
The other side's
Okay,
doing
well,
that.
I can't even actually finish my sentence, so I'm not even going to bother anymore.
Response to it.
No. Steve is right in the fact that he is philosophically he is correct. We can't.
I
deny it.
agree with Steve.
Now, colloquially, which is what
We're all
97% of all atheists identify ourselves colloquially.
I disagree with that.
The belief.
Yeah, Jim, I
Yes.
disagree with that. I know a lot of atheists that don't.
Okay,
Oh,
maybe 90%. Okay, fuck it, 90%.
We know that
85%, fuck it.
Okay, and even if that's true, let's say it's 100%, Jim.
Let's
The fact-
say it's 85%.
But yeah,
but
we can.
Now I know you hate I know you hate the term common parlance, but when majority rules,
But Jim,
you
that's not
gotta
the argument.
with
That's
what
not the argument. Let me ask you the argument, because that's not really irrelevant. Let's say that all of them did. It makes no difference. If somebody's out there saying, look, you're only allowed to use this word one way, you cannot use it another way. I take umbrage to that. I just got that today. I literally just got that today. Somebody just
Is
said
that
to me
what
that.
happened? Is that what happened in the Atheist Republic group?
Oh,
Is that what happened?
But
Is that what happened, Steve?
We're two
Is
different
that
situations.
what happened in
Don't
the
yell.
Atheist
Please don't
Republic
yell,
group?
Shannon. Two different issues.
Let him answer your question.
Yeah,
You
two
heard your
different issues.
question.
The fact remains that when atheists go out there and say, look, we have the cultural usages, I've never stopped them from saying they can't use those usages. I've never said they're wrong. I've never said that they're using words incorrectly. These are all misinformations people said about me. I've never made those arguments ever. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. I've never ever said any of those things. I have a whole page on my actual position. What happens is they're saying, no, Steve, there's only one, and this is from Fighting God, David Silverman's book, right? It even says there is that all these definitions that use belief in the positive case are wrong. He says the word wrong, right? American Atheist says there is only one thing to be an atheist, period. You do not believe. That is the only condition to be an atheist. That is an incorrect statement. We know this because of philosophical definition.
Except that we don't all agree with that.
No, we all.
I think we all do agree on that, because if there's other definitions, you have to recognize that there are other definitions.
Prove that we don't all agree on that.
TJ,
because you take
TJ, do you not?
take-
Okay, let me ask TJ a question. TJ, do you agree there's more than one definition of atheism?
A definition is all it is
An agreed upon.
an agreed upon usage.
Not my
of-
question. Do you agree there's different ways that the word atheism is polysemous and you use in different ways?
Anything, any
Steve,
abstraction, any abstraction is
All right,
us
let
taking-
me try it this way. Let me try it this way.
That's true.
Tim,
Sorry, I gotta jump in. If you and I agree that this right
that's
here is,
semantics. I don't want to talk about semantics. I know what your
I
argument is
know,
going to
if
be.
you and I agree that this is a rock, we could talk about
That's
the
fine.
nature
That's
of
semantics, right? That's irrelevant. Jim, let me ask you
it
this.
doesn't lend itself
Yeah,
to.
please let me ask you this.
All right.
If you go to read a philosophical paper dealing with this topic, If you want to read this paper in context, would you read it the way that I'm using these terms or the way you're using these terms?
No, I would have to read it in the philosophical definition.
Correct. Exactly. Thank you. So here's the thing. When they're saying that it's merely a lack of belief, they're negating all that philosophical literature, saying that all that philosophical literature is wrong. That's my argument. Thank you.
We're choosing to use this word in another
problem
way.
You can use it any way you want.
The problem is we all agree on this shit. That's the funny part. That's
We
what's
all get
fucking.
it.
You
We
don't.
all get it.
They
all
don't, Jim. I get people telling me, Steve, listen to me. I get people telling me daily, there's only, if you are not a theist, you're an atheist, bar none, full stop. I get that literally full stop. They'll say words like that. That is wrong and it's incorrect.
Just like we do on our trolls on our Facebook, on our YouTube channel, we just let it water off a duck's back. You just let that fucking roll off.
Right, but here's the thing. I'm trying to explain to them so they go, if they ever get in this topic, if they ever go read the literature, they're not going to be confused, because what happens is if you don't start foundationally with the basics, you're going to get confused later on. So when they go try to read a paper, and I've seen this happen, they read it and they don't understand it. It makes it 10 times even worse. I even had people argue. I even had people argue with me that agnosticism is belief between belief and disbelief, which is true.
No,
but they think
claims. Those are knowledge claims.
no, TJ, it's not.
Listen, Steve, you've carved out a niche for yourself. You're going. This is the hill.
Psychological state.
Now,
psychological state. Thank you.
This is the hill you're going to die on, and it's a noble hill to die on.
And I'm making waves on it too.
And we respect you for that.
You're still lucky, man.
Yeah, no, we totally agree on fucking 97% of what
We
he
do,
said.
but other people don't, Jim. And this is what's happening. This is why we're having a discussion tomorrow, because we've seen these groups, and Edgelord, you pointed out perfectly. They're making an echo chamber. If you dare even not toe the party line, if you have a conflict with an admin, right? They just boot you, and that's not how you have a discussion. Right? People are afraid to even have conversations with any of the moderators because God forbid you say something to them, you get booted. That's absurd. That's not how you run an organization. That's not how you run.
Yeah, I would have to.
We're gonna put a bow on this. That's really good. Chris,
thank you.
Upcoming events.
I mean, he's
wait, we're gonna let Chris.
presented in a very.
What happened to Shannon?
See, wait a minute. See, somebody just said Steve's an atheist who doesn't want to call himself an atheist. That's the bullshit I get, Jim. Would you denounce that on public and say that's just wrong for atheists to do that? Because I'm not an atheist. You know I'm not an atheist.
Define it. You are what we're defining.
If someone asked me on the street, is Steve McCray right? I say, according to the actual physical SCP, he's fucking correct.
Well, that's more than that, though. But he's telling you that I didn't want to.
It's like telling someone it's like a Christian telling an atheist that they actually believe in God.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Lord, you're one of my favorite people now. This is exactly what happened. When I see atheists saying, making arguments to motives, Steve doesn't want to call himself an atheist. Like, I gave a fuck about controversy. If I was an atheist, I would call myself that. I'm not worried about a stigma. For fuck's sake, I'm like one of the most controversial people. That is not a reason why I don't label myself atheist. And for somebody to make that kind of argument, you're making atheists look like an idiot when you do that.
That's the very simple reason why you don't call yourself one, though, because you don't think you are.
I am, because I'm not. I'm just not.
You think you're not, right?
I know I'm not. There's a difference.
No, right? Like, no.
Well,
I know
what I
know.
No, according to Steve's definition, all three of us here are agnostic.
Yes, exactly.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I think you probably believe there are actually more. I think you probably have more.
Both.
Yes, you can.
According to Steve, you cannot be both.
I think, Jim, I think you probably have more of a belief there's no God than you let on. I mean, would you say? Honestly, be honest. Don't you think all gods are bullshit? No concepts are bullshit.
No, because once you trace it back to t equals 0 at the singularity, and I know it's an illogical statement, but whatever comes before the singularity, it blows my goddamn noodle, and I don't know. It could be a divine intelligence. It could be.
No, it could be. Anything's possible. These are called bare possibilities. What I'm saying is, we're not talking about bare possibilities. We're talking about your beliefs. Don't you think, though, overall, they're bullshit?
The big possibility that there's a divine intelligence, yes. I'm going to just go ahead and throw it out there.
The time to believe a thing, though, is when it's been demonstrated.
Why?
I'm confused.
I'm just being completely transparent here. I think there could be a divine intelligence.
Well, yeah, I think there could be too, but that doesn't mean anything.
I don't.
Thinking that there could be is irrelevant. Do you think right now? Do you think
it's not the same as demonstrating its possibility?
TJ, hang on. Jim, do you think? Okay,
It's
first
not
of all,
an intelligence.
do you hold the naturalism? Do you think that everything's natural, or do you believe that supernatural exists?
Yeah, after t equals 0, sure, but we're talking at t equals 0 or whatever. I know it's illogical to say, but before, yeah, I know that's a temporal statement, but whatever the first cause argument blows my, and they fine
Right,
tune
sure, and the possibly, I agree. Look, there could be possibly a God. We're not asking what the possibilities are. There could be a leprechaun that does all this. Who the fuck knows?
I
That's
think
a fair
there's a really
possibility.
good chance that there's something that there's someone. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think there's a really good chance that someone.
TJ, do you think there's a chance that God?
Happen.
I think that if you describe a specific God, I would generally say that's probably not the
Okay, so
case.
what percentage would you say is likelihood of there being a God?
I can't give you a percentage because Bayesian logic specifically dictates that if you don't have priors to go off of, you cannot make a problem.
Well, yeah, you can. You start at 0.5 with Bayesian.
I would say it's a
I would
coin.
say there's a 0.0000001%
Ed,
chance.
you would say that's pretty low.
Yeah.
Universe that didn't
Wait.
have
Right,
let
me clarify what I said. God of the Old Testament, Yahweh. There's a almost close to, not.
Close to
It's
zero.
it's a very non-zero.
Very
It's a
close.
very
And all the other books.
So here's the thing.
the fact that there could be an intelligent designer is. I'm going to put a coin flip on it.
Why do people
Really?
need a
You think-
designer? Why do
Wait,
you
I'm
need
curious,
a
really?
designer?
You
Why
think
would it be a designer
I
to
just
begin
I
with?
just
Why would
had
it be
this
a
feeling that
creator?
something is
I think
behind
that's cool.
this whole shit.
I'm not discounting that. I'm actually curious. You really think it's around 50-50?
I just got this feeling that there may very possibly be something behind this.
All right, and Edgelord, you put it much lower, right? Much lower.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you hold the belief that there are no gods, right? You're convinced that gods don't exist.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
The only thing is that there are different interpretations of the word God, and so if you are talking about someone, some like I wouldn't say like some powerful, like magical, mystical thing that is humans and earth and nature, then I would say there are things that we cannot explain just yet. If that we would interpret them as spiritual because they are magical, they feel magical to us with our little brains. Let me finish.
Yes.
But whenever there will be a time that we will have an advanced enough science and everything that we will be able to pinpoint those things as natural, and it doesn't decount their beauty or their awe or even their amazingness, because right now we already understand it's amazing because we can't put our finger on what it is.
Yeah, no,
it's not God.
I mean,
it's not God.
It's the anthropic
It's not
principle,
God.
right?
Actually was extant in the universe, we would eventually have enough knowledge to recognize and identify that deity.
Okay, so
Right, and then we'll know
Ed,
that it's natural. God, if it was spiritual, it has to be natural. There's no such thing as spiritual.
Ed,
Everything spiritual is natural.
Yes.
The way I would describe it is this: if I wanted to be a strong atheist, and by the way, Jim, I know a lot of strong atheists, people that actually affirm there are no gods, right? I mean, a lot of them, they do exist. She's one of them, and I think that it's not hard to justify that. You can actually say, look, I don't believe that. I mean, excuse me, I believe there are no gods. Gods don't exist. They're all bullshit. Let me tell you why. Divine hiddenness, logical problem evil, evidential problem evil, and the fact that we've never discovered any properties of a deity. These are in a classification of a class of objects that exist that are very similar to what we'd find for other fictional characteristics of things. Like we never discovered the properties of Superman. They were a priori told to us, right? We didn't go out to discover them. So the characteristics assigned to a deity is very similar to what we find for any fictitious character. So we would put them in the same category. That's a fine way to justify strong atheism. If you can say all what I just said, you are justified to say all gods are bullshit and you don't believe it, and you believe they're all crap. So I don't know why atheists are so resident to not try to avoid a burden of proof on that. It's not that difficult to do if you believe there's no gods.
We're not reticent. Yeah. You see us actually come out with strong opinions once a god, a particular deity is described.
But it's global. It's any particular god, any god.
Not because we don't answer the general question.
That's what it is, though.
Overarching question, right?
I'm gonna put Bo in this. All right, guys. Chris, you have more? Shannon, I know you're jumping a bit. Shannon,
I am. I'm frustrated.
You know,
I don't think that's the ultimate problem here. Like, I agree with Steve on his philosophical definitions. I do. Like, by his definition, yeah, I'm an atheist because I'm not suspending judgment.
I'm not either. Yeah.
Right. So you're an atheist too, by Steve's
I'm an
definition.
atheist. I am an atheist.
Right. Exactly. And Steve would agree with that. The problem is how you go about transmitting that message. Sometimes, Steve,
Okay. Yeah.
you can go about transmitting that message in a way that makes people feel small and makes it seem as though you're condescending them.
Can I address it?
That is the problem.
Can I address
People are people, and people. Let me just finish my statement, please, because I'm already feeling incredibly frustrated and stifled. So some people, when you address them, when you say, don't you know anything about philosophy? Obviously, you don't know anything about philosophy. All kinds of PhDs agree with me. Don't you know this? How can you not know this? Honestly, I mean, how foolish are you? You say you're an atheist and you don't even really know what atheist means? I mean, I know a bunch of PhDs.
I get the idea, Shannon.
PhDs I know agree with me.
All right, Shannon, so can I answer?
It is quite uncanny, though, because I've seen you do exactly that
So
before.
let me explain something very quickly here.
That is what people react to.
Shannon, I can't answer if you won't let me answer the question here.
I've been very quiet. I even left.
Okay. So to your point. So to your point, I start off very cordially in these conversations. I get things like I just had in the live chat where somebody says, makes an argument to motive saying Steve does not want to admit he's an atheist. I get things saying, if you do not believe gods exist, you're an atheist, full stop. I try to explain to these people, and then I get invectives back to me. I get pejoratives back to me. I give what I get. And if a person's going to tell me I'm wrong and they've never read a single solitary thing on this, I am not going to take them very seriously. And I'm going to point that out like I would if they're a flat earther or a creationist. I have a standard. Right.
All right, guys.
I get. I'm gonna get an answer, Jim. I was asking.
When you're done.
I didn't want to make this an atheist fucking.
No, this needs to get out. This is good. This is fine.
Philosophical.
This is good. This is good. Please keep going, and then I'll respond.
So when a person comes at me sideways, I'm going to come after them sideways as well, because I'm for years have been told that I'm wrong by people that have never read a paper on this topic. You agree with me, right? I don't think initially you did, right? But my information is factual, and that needs to be put out. Here's the thing: if atheists don't want diversity, let me finish. My God.
Let him finish.
If atheists want a cohesive thing, then all they need to do is say, you know what, Steve is correct in his usages. He's using them correctly. He's someone informed of this. Stop telling him he's an atheist. Just like Edgelord pointed out, a theist saying, you know, you're a theist because you know God exists. It's the same thing. This is what causes division. I'm trying to get out factually correct information that anybody, if they used it, they can go read these papers and understand it. That's all I've been trying to do. Day freaking one.
One sec.
I'm not trying to convert anybody doing Gnosticism.
Let me talk to Steve for a sec.
First one.
Shannon.
I'm interested in hearing the response.
Okay. So, Steve, I understand your point, and I understand that it strengthens an atheist argument in order to be able to be better versed in the philosophical principles. I understand that. I'm with you on that. And based on your standards, I am probably a strong to weak atheist, right? Like, I get all of those. Yeah. But like, whatever. Like, you're
an anti-theist.
I'm an anti-theist. Yes. Well, yes, I am. Okay. So besides the point, regardless what I am, if your goal, I'm all about goals aligning with actions and goals aligning with intents and behaviors. If your goal is to have people better understand and adopt Do you have the best strategy
Yes.
in order to align with your goals? Do you really?
I have a strategy that works for me that's been very effective and has
Do a
actually.
strategy that works for.
I have a strategy that has been made. People have been made aware of these things because of the controversial things. I have a name that has been because of this. So yes, I think this strategy does work because the people want to learn it are learning it.
Is infamous the same as
Hey,
effective?
I tell you what. I tell you what.
Yes,
I tell you what. I tell you what. If I hadn't gone the strategy, I wouldn't. I would be just like anybody else. Just
this is what you want. Then you want people to be reactive. I don't want them to be.
I don't want to be. They are though.
That's not really. I need to say something. That's not really fair though, because then what you're basically saying is it's okay for those other people to have done what they did because.
No, I'm not.
Of his
I'm not.
whatever
I'm
attitude.
not. I'm not saying that. And I had this conversation with Steve on Twitter fucking yesterday, where I said it is not okay for people to say that to you. However, you have to understand the psychology of people and how people work. If you tell somebody that they're an idiot, even
they're idiots. What do you want? We gotta
let
Jim talk.
That's where you're not effective, Steve. You could be more effective. I wish you were more effective, but you're not because
Kill them with kindness.
If people didn't say the things that they say to me so often and be so adamant about it, maybe I would lighten up a little bit. But it's very infuriating when people make the comments they make to me about me having, you're
the one who tells people to have a thick skin on the internet, Steve.
Oh no, I'm not saying that, Shannon. I say bring it on. I think on anybody.
There could be people. No, there could be people that do not go around and call people idiots that can be just as nasty in other ways.
Yes, thank you.
On the internet.
Yeah, but what is your
Jim
goal?
dying here. Jim,
I've been called transgendered. I've had somebody ask me.
Oh my God, Jim's dying here.
Oh, come on.
Jim Pants.
Now we're going way off south.
Before I start in, what's up with that that Twitter remark, Shannon, that you have an Adam's apple and that you are a biological male? What's that up with that?
Oh, I don't know. God damn it. I don't know.
That's funny.
You know what's funny? That's not the first time I've had that. I've had multiple people ask me if I was transgendered.
That's so funny. That's funny as shit.
I get that asked all the time. Yeah.
If she's a biological male, then fucking we're all fucked because. God,
yeah, I know. I will give it that. If Shannon's actually a male, I'm gonna have to readjust my entire way of looking at reality.
Oh shit!
But,
okay.
Worldview.
Yeah, my worldview is.
Let me say this. I think we're missing the point that just like the conversation between Anti-Ordinary and Fair Whisper earlier, I think that we're so talking past each other right now. So worse. In fact, we agree with 95% of what's going on. Steve is going with the literal interpretation of the philosophical manuals, and the rest of us are going colloquial. Can we just say, hey, guess what? Let's just fucking say who we are and okay,
yes, I would love that.
It's better to find a middle ground, though.
Yes.
Okay.
What I've been.
Steve has a great. Steve is fucking. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I might lose subscribers, but Steve is fucking correct.
He's been
now the rest of us who want to call ourselves atheists, I'm not gonna change my fucking channel to.
Yeah, I'm not.
Dude, I consider you an atheist. Look at I consider.
Who considers you an atheist, though?
I'm not going to change my.
You are an atheist. I consider you an atheist. You don't have to use my definitions. I can use your definitions and say.
No, I'm saying I'm not going to change my. I'm not going to change my channel to agnostic edge. I swear to God, I'm not going to.
That sounds like that sounds pretty soft. I just kind of wanted to broach the subject real quick, if you guys didn't mind. I mean,
go ahead, Jason. No.
Okay, so this is me extending the olive branch of peace here, all right? But just give me a second. Let me get it all out. Let me explain what's going on. When you talk to most atheists, what they're actually saying is that they're being thrown all these nebulous concepts, these amorphous concepts of God. Okay, so okay, I guess it's somebody talking in the background.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No. So basically, there is no. Steve's position is that there is kind of like this common descriptor for God, right? This common definition. But the problem is many atheists come from the position, like me, a former theist of 23 plus years. You know, I had my definition. I recognize everybody else, even just 2 pews down, had their own definition. You know, if you go over to the Sikhs, they have their definition. The Hindus have their definition, et cetera, so on and so forth. And these are non-congruous. They're actually, many of them are contradictory. Okay. So from our position, this thing has kind of like an amorphous form. And when people ask us if we believe it, okay, this is a propositional, probabilistic acceptance, a psychological state of whether something is true or not, okay? Now, if you're lacking sufficient, what I would refer to as metadata, meaning you don't even have any tangential data to draw upon to come to a determination whether whatever you're being asked about a certain thing is true or false, or whether it's got this traits or these traits or lacking these traits. If you're devoid of that information, you can't actually, most of the time, you won't even come to a belief. It's going to be a null because you don't have anything to assess any of this with, okay? Now, let me give you guys an example, please, really quick, just everybody on the channel. All right. If I ask you, and I'm sorry this sounds kind of silly, but I have to go this way. If I ask you if the Flargnars of Velmar 7 are beautiful or ugly, what is your answer? What do you believe? Do you believe they're beautiful or they're ugly?
I can't determine that until I have more information. I need to see them.
Okay, so
I'm agnostic on that.
Okay,
Can't
you
make
could
a
say
determination.
agnostic, but I specifically address your quality of belief.
Well, I think agnostic would be closer, but
Agnostic
I
might
can't
work
make a
too.
determination. I don't have
Okay,
enough information.
exactly. But what you are specifically lacking is a positive belief as to the state of their beauty. Okay? And that is a very important distinction to draw right there. Okay?
Mhm.
So basically, this is actually dispossession or a lack of belief. You're not affirming the positive, but you're also not affirming the negative. Okay? And this
well, real quick,
specifically,
I don't see how that everything you said I agree with. I don't see how that it goes against anything I've ever said.
okay, I'm getting to something here, Steve. You might actually end up liking it where I'm going, because here's the thing. I actually had a conversation before with Ocean that I ended up being right on my premise, okay, and he ceded that, which was great, and it turned out to be a good conversation.
Wait. Sorry, guys. Listen. No, come here. Shit. Let me get back to the
What
same
happened?
screen. Sorry. Chris has to bounce, so he's going to give his plugs and his upcoming events. I know you have Sleeping in Sundays.
Sleeping in Sunday, which is the blog that
It's
our
a
illustrious
very
Chris-
very
yes.
intelligent
Super
blog.
important.
Sleeping in Sundays. It's what we draw a lot of our videos from. So,
Yeah.
Chris,
Okay.
okay.
Keep it quick. Sleepinginsundays.com, Twitter @SleepSundays, and
Sleep Sundays.
Sleep
Okay.
Sundays. And if you're watching this before Friday, March 29th, check out the Atheist Christian Book Club Facebook page. We'll be streaming our conversation with Frank Turek.
He's going to sit
live.
down with Frank Turek in person.
This guy's going to be interviewing
Oh, okay.
a really big name. in
The
Christian
interview might-
apologetics,
the
so-
interview-
The biggest name that we've ever had on our show.
What's his channel again?
It's Atheist Christian Book Club. Our interview might not be live.
If you go on
but
Facebook,
the,
it's Atheist Christian Book Club on Facebook, and it's gonna be. Well, if you don't see it there, you're gonna see it mirrored on our channel. But he's gonna be
Yeah, we're
sitting.
gonna mirror it.
He's gonna be fucking sitting down with Frank fucking Turek
well,
in person.
yeah, it's gonna be a group discussion.
There's
which,
gonna be
which
a-
I know will
yeah.
be live, and possibly a one-on-one interview, which will be on the Atheist Edge channel.
Is
Dope.
it sleepsunday.co?
He's the guy that did. I don't have enough faith to be an atheist.
I don't have that faith to be an atheist and
yeah.
stealing
He's
from God.
stealing
He's
from
by
God.
far. Forget
You've seen him debate.
You know who Frank Turek is for sure.
Christopher Hitchens.
Forget Seth Andrews and Matt Dillon in our Raw. This is the biggest name
He's a
we've
big
gonna.
fish.
Frank Turek did an interview with Cosmic Skeptic, and it's one of the best on-air
Frank
interviews
Turek
that I've
is gonna
seen.
be-
Yeah, it's going to be big for us
So,
for sure. Yeah, I
Look
mean,
for him on March 29th. If you don't see it live, just see it later. All right.
That's all I
Thank
got.
you,
We
man.
now proceed with
Oh,
your
all right.
arguments.
Love you.
Appreciate it,
Thank you for
man.
coming. Thanks for coming, baby.
Go on,
All
Ralph.
right.
Okay, so where were we? Ah, yes. So essentially, you could actually have a state of mind where you actually believe that the Flargnargians of Velmar 7 or whatever, right, were beautiful. right? But you can actually get to a state where you realize that you don't actually have the data that you thought you had, and thus you are dispossessive of that belief. Now, it doesn't mean that these things on the existential question, it doesn't mean that they don't exist, right?
No.
But you basically come to the point where you realize you have insufficient data. This is the point where many atheists arrive. Now, to your credit, Steve, I think you make a good point that people tend towards their tribalisms and their dogmas. And and I think sometimes what you're doing in this regard is I think you're being reactionary, meaning that you have this esoteric and erudite understanding of, you know, how philosophically atheism has been normatively used, right? Okay.
Call it esoteric. I think it can't be esoteric and normative. I mean, that's kind of
a very good description, erudite.
Yeah, and that's
I'm right about all these things,
and that's fine. Except, and here's a major sticking point of mine. Okay, and I brought this up earlier. I included the screen slide for it. I actually have the screen slide here if you'd like to see it. But even the Oxford Dictionary of Philosophy factually says that atheism is the lack of belief in a deity or the statement that there is none. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Now,
what journal are you pulling that from?
But Oxford Dictionary of Philosophy.
Okay, dictionaries are not authoritative.
I agree with you. I agree with you. It's descriptive. A dictionary is not authoritative like an encyclopedia. But I'm willing to concede, and I've never argued otherwise. There's multiple definitions for atheism. IEP defines atheism also as the disbelief of supernaturalism. Right?
That's true.
No,
yeah, I actually have looked at the IEP.
Yeah. So now I'm not a fan of that definition. I reject that definition. I think it's a poor definition.
It's
However,
not congruent because it has nothing to do with it.
But see, here's the thing. I reject that definition. Nobody blinks twice, but I reject the sensu lato definition of colloquial atheism of lack of belief, and I get crap for it. I'm allowed to reject.
A question that's probably going to be along the same.
Can I ask Jason if the standard encyclopedia of philosophy supersedes the Oxford English Dictionary?
These are both peer reviewed. Yeah, they're both peer reviewed.
They are essentially on the terms of definition peers, but
no, because they're different. They're totally different.
Well, I would say this: Stanford Encyclopedia clearly has a higher impact factor. It's more recognized. I'll give it that. But Dr. McCormick, who wrote Atheism for IEP, is a well recognized philosopher. But it's not a matter of these are more. I hate to say prescriptively, but they're a little bit more telling you about the field. The dictionary is telling you how the usages, right? Even
they don't give you access as a layman to their site. You can well, maybe in the US, but in Europe you can't get access to everything on their site.
You have to prove you're a student, and then they can give.
Yeah. So.
Oh shit!
It doesn't do everyone a much good.
Yeah.
What is that? You have to prove you're a student. What is that?
If you have a .edu, and you email them or contact them with your details, they'll give you access.
Are there certain sites that are blocked in Europe?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tons of them. Even YouTube channels.
They don't have freedom of speech. There is no.
We do not have freedom of speech. We do not.
Yeah.
There is no specific freedom of speech enshrined in
a lot of
county documents of any European country.
Dude, Ralph, let me ask you because you're looking.
Yeah, continuing this argument.
So thank you for reading my position. So you can't straw man me if you actually read my positions. I think, or you have less of a chance, right?
Well, what I've been seeing is your reactionary comments that actually Shannon is addressing.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking we're making this fist. It's like,
that's a different topic. We're talking about the facts right now.
Keep going. I want to hear this.
So, nobody's ever argued that these colloquial definitions are not definitional. Right? I've never made that argument. I never said and this is where people have made a critical mistake and they perpetuated it. Even Matt Dillahunty said this, and it's not true. I have never said, "Oh, you don't hold to philosophical definitions. You're not a real atheist." Never have I said or argued anything of that sort. Anybody who knows me has never heard me ever say anything of that sort. That's a 3 men and a tiger. That's 3 men make a tiger story. That is something that was made up. It was never happened. There's videos out there that accuse me of that, but when you ask them for evidence of that, nothing. So what happens is people watch these other anti-videos about me that are actually wrong about what I've said and willfully knowing so. I guarantee it. And instead of asking me about my own positions, they just run, half-cocked and say, "Oh, well, Steve's telling atheists that they're not actually atheists." Bullshit. Jim, if he, even though he might be agnostic on the proposition, He's still an atheist by his colloquial definitions. I refer to him as an atheist. He is an atheist. He's just not an atheist, philosophical atheism. And he would agree he's not a philosophical atheist.
And can we not
He's
all
right about
agree with
that.
that?
I mean,
we can
Yeah,
all.
I think that's simple.
Well,
That's been my argument for years.
And this is like I said, this is the olive branch that I'm actually extending on this topic because I think it's pertinent. If you're going to have any source of reasonable discourse, okay, work out your definitions. All right, don't get combative about them unless they're outright silly, right? A vanilla ice cream cone is not, existentialism, for example, right? I mean,
No, we don't care as much about ice cream cones as we probably
There's
do.
Right.
a line where I'm going to say, well, your definitions are so.
You're just being silly, right?
Yeah.
Which is okay, but I'm just saying that I think what you're running into is first and foremost. I'll tell you this: I have been in a philosophy class in the past 6 years. Okay, now the normative use that I ran into was a philosophy of religion class at a local college. Okay, was that the normal view, of course, was the historically theist-driven definition, which is that atheism is the belief that there is no God.
Why is that theist?
Right? Because they were primarily the ones who were in control.
No, that's conspiratorial.
It's
not conspiratorial. If you can actually.
Two people. The person who wrote SEP is a atheist. The person who wrote IEP is an atheist. Going back to 1700s, it uses the
Wait, can I say something?
Status.
Not believing in God and believing there is no God are two wildly separate things.
Right, and here's the thing:
We've already argued
that's a whole other conversation.
I will tell you this.
Conversation.
I will tell you this. You may not be aware of it. There is something called negation raising, and this is something just because of a pure locutionary act of something that we hear. When somebody hears, I don't believe, they hear it as I believe that's not the case.
All right, here we go. TJ, final plugs and final thoughts.
Final thoughts is, man, we just are so fortunate to have everybody that's our friend be our friend. We're just such Joe Schmo. We're just such Joe Schmo people just existing out there in the fucking ether that we just we are so thankful that there are people that are willing to put up with our bullshit basically and come and talk to us and just be on the show, and we love everybody that has given us an ounce or an inkling of consideration over the years. So Steve and people like Steve and Shannon and everybody else that has basically made this show a possibility. People that support us. We have Jason, we have people like Jason, we have people that just comment on videos and say, hey, we're so grateful that you do the show that you do, and we're grateful to have you as a voice in the community. We just love that, and that's our basic ultimate takeaway from anything, is that we are so fulfilled and grateful and filled with gratitude that people listen to us talk about things.
Okay, let me jump in. I got a email, no shit, 2 or 3 days ago, and I wish I had it up right now, but the paraphrase is, I've been talking to my pastor about what you've said on your show, and I hit him with these questions and he couldn't answer them, and it got me thinking, and then boom, I'm really thinking that you guys might be right, and that's why we do this shit.
That's why we fucking do it.
And now,
that's why we do
I'm not trying to evangelize. Atheists are not evangelizers, but that is a huge ego boost.
Yeah, if you come to some sort of fucking long-lasting
getting you to think for yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Even if you don't come to the same conclusion as us, getting you to think for yourself. The last thing I've got to say is upcoming events. April 29th is Frank Turek. You already know that. You're going to see that live on Facebook, or you'll see it a little bit. Oh, shit. Man, so many. Okay. Let's see. Frank Turek. Oh, Faithless Forum on April 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And we'll be able to get Shannon Q. I'm going to pull you. Here's the deal.
No way.
Faithless Forum is sold out. I didn't get a
It
ticket.
is.
I didn't either.
No, are you
No,
serious?
here's the deal. Courtney got a ticket, so she'll be our inside man. So she'll be inside, but guess who's going to be out? Guess who's going to be out in the hallway with fucking cameras, though? It's going to be me and fucking TJ because we didn't get a ticket.
We're gonna have.
Are you serious? You guys didn't get again?
We're gonna-
What the fuck?
No, I know
Right.
it's already sold out.
I
They're only
didn't know.
25
I didn't know it was going to sell out so quick. Anyway, we're going to be out in the hallway like we
Oh
were
my
last year.
God.
They won't sneak you in if you pay them.
No. Do you have any idea how many people have
Very,
messaged me and asked me to sneak them in?
Yeah.
And the answer is no.
No,
Like
no,
other
no.
YouTubers.
No, I don't even want to be stuck in.
Why
No,
I would
I
rather.
mean,
Lloyd Evans can't get in, guys.
I tell you what, if Shannon Q says I can come in, she could probably get us in. But if
No,
not,
I'm not saying shit. I'm
not
not a
even
coordinator. No.
I'm not even care.
I'm just
you're a speaker,
I'm-
though, right? You're still a speaker. You have a
Yes,
speaker.
I'm a
Yeah.
speaker.
Have you
yes.
have you written it yet?
You have
Yeah.
to get in.
I don't even care because we are gonna be out in the hallway doing we're gonna be
We're
doing
gonna be doing whatever we can do,
keychains
man.
and fucking bumper stickers and all that.
Atheist edge, bumper stickers.
And we're gonna be
Get
asking
this on your car's ass.
crazy fucked up religion trivia. We're gonna be doing in-person interviews.
Steve knows that we have no problem pimping ourselves.
We will
No,
we
God,
will
no, I'm aware of that. Look at your shirt.
You
we
didn't
will
even
be
get-
Atheist Edge. Me and TJ will be out in the hallway doing the Atheist Edge whoring.
Damn
So
it.
Y'all gonna
All
be
right.
wearing G-strings.
Yeah.
So that and the Frank Turk interview on the 29th. And then today is the Atheist Day on the Texas Atheist Day. It's on the Texas State Capitol. It already happened, but Oren Raw, Holy Kool-Aid,
Holy
Matt
Kool-Aid.
Dillahunty, they were all out
Yes,
there.
GM Skeptic was there, and so was Objectively Dan. I've been getting pictures all day.
Yep. I've been
Awesome.
seeing all the selfies and all.
Shit.
You know what? Do you think it was a conspiracy that they set those speakers up behind the horse's ass? Do you think there was something?
No, I don't know. I don't
Did you
know.
see when they were speaking,
know
they
for
were
sure.
like right behind the horse's ass statue?
No, I don't. I have no idea. I have no idea. All I know is that Seth sent me a picture. I think he posted it actually on social media, where him with the 10 Commandments.
Yeah,
That was
but were
pretty
they?
funny.
The background.
Yeah, but they were speaking just off the steps of the Capitol.
Yeah.
And it was right
Yeah.
behind the horse's ass of that statue of the horse.
Ooh, that's.
And
I think that may have
I
been
did that on purpose.
inconsequential. That might be a coincidence, but I don't know for
It
sure.
could be a coincidence. It could not be a coincidence.
I think they
It could not be.
did that on purpose. Anyway, TJ, you have any
No.
events?
This is all I am. I'm just a guy. And when I'm not
That's it.
doing
That's all
Shit.
TJ has.
this, just dude.
All right. So, Lisa, I know you're muted. Can you unmute and give us your final thoughts? Someone who's local
Oh,
and FFRF and whatnot.
I don't have any. I'm just so happy to have been a part of this and got to listen to everybody. Especially Shannon, she totally blew my mind so many different times. I'm over here
So
bowing at
smart.
her.
So fucking smart.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
mean-
sweet.
I'm glad I'm in Texas because I know that, around these rednecks, I seem smart, but I'll stay here. 'Cause if I
Nice.
go out it, I'm like, damn, I'm dumb.
Mhm.
Fair
You're
Whisper.
silly.
Fair Whisper, any final thoughts?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. And every time I've been on here, it's so good and so fun and such a good environment. And congratulations on your 5K subs and to 500K more.
Well, I wish 500K.
I love
Oh
500K.
my God.
Can you imagine
Ooh.
500K?
Can I imagine
Well,
that?
I would
I can
totally
imagine
quit.
it. I can totally
No, I
imagine
would
it.
totally quit my job right now, fucking now for 500K.
Yeah. I mean, it'd probably be a thing.
Oh
that we
wait,
would-
I don't have a job.
We'd
Never
have to
mind.
But man, we were so glad that all you guys are able to come hang out with us
Jason,
and
final
be
thoughts.
cool with us.
I mean, not much. This is a good
Everybody.
get together. I missed a portion of it. I was off with the gals, but
All right, man.
yeah, man. Good final convo there, I think.
Yeah,
Squash some
thank you,
bugs.
thank you for that, by the way. And I will, and I'll since you.
Wait,
since,
Steve, you're not done. You're not ready.
Well,
No,
I'm
you're
offering an
sorry,
olive
Steve.
branch. I'm offering.
God damn it.
Since Ralph offered an olive branch, I'm going to pay it forward, and I will tell Shannon for the next month I won't use any pejorative like idiot or anything like that.
All right, that's a promise from
I
Steve,
can't-
really?
Wow.
Really? Steve, really?
To the
Really?
Would I lie to you?
That's an olive
Serious
branch.
fuck.
Would I lie to you?
Serious as
I don't-
fuck. Everybody else, shut up. Steve, you're not going to use idiot on Twitter or Facebook.
On any of my, yeah, 1 month.
Or
Shannon.
imply that somebody's an idiot. Make them feel like an idiot.
Yes, thank you,
Oh,
Shannon.
wait, there's a caveat here. How do I?
It's the same goddamn thing.
That's a little difficult because when you're looking at it, that's a perlocutionary thing. What I say is how they take it. I will try. I will try to go out of my way. I will go out of my way to try to make it not sound like that they're an idiot.
Shannon is living up to the Atheist said 20 commandments, which is found in your description section of this video. I think it's either number 11 or number 16. No fucking name calling.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not even about name calling. It's like, I can't believe you don't know this. What's wrong with you? Don't you know the basics of philosophy? What's your problem?
You do the same thing
I
in
know
psychology.
PhD.
I took psychology. You've never read anything on psychology. Why you're telling me I'm wrong, kind of thing. You do.
All
the same
right. Anyway,
No,
Shannon.
I don't do that to people.
Shannon.
I don't do that to
Shannon.
people, Steve. I don't.
Can
Why
I
don't you know
cut
what
out?
Shannon,
Can I edit out the bit that was before where she did the like 5 minutes of doing the Steve impersonation and put it into a separate
that's all
video?
you
Can
should
you do
do.
that?
Put that on a
That
loop.
is so
Put that
cool.
on a loop.
Shannon, do you have any upcoming events or
You
any
just need to get a fake beard.
We want to have
Real beard.
Yeah.
I'll grow it out.
Shannon Q? Fucking
Shannon.
Shannon fucking Q is in our channel right now. Can you believe it? It's
Shannon
surreal, right?
fucking
It is, yeah, we're living the
It's
dream.
kind of surreal.
We're
I'm-
living the dream right now.
Oh, can I just say real quick? I didn't even say it, but did I say it already? Brian Dance, Dusty Smith, and Truth Surge, all these guys from way back when the internet YouTube was first starting,
Yeah.
and we've had them on our channel. Fucking, we are living the dream.
Isn't it so
We've had them on our
weird
channel.
that we've had all these famous fucking people on our fucking
It's
shit,
blowing my
man. It's
goddamn
blowing my
noodle. I
fucking
can't.
mind right
I
now,
can't
man.
even.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't put it into words.
All right, Shannon.
Okay.
Upcoming events or plugs.
The next thing that I have is mostly on Steve's show, actually, on Non Sequitur. I'm going to be on Non Sequitur as a prelude to Faithless Forum. Me and Paula G are going to be doing the 20 questions for the Newlywed Game. I can't remember which one we're doing. On April 2nd and on April 8th, I'm going to be speaking with Armin Nabibi on about his deplatforming on Non Sequitur. And I'm currently in the midst of writing a script on my next How to Be a Christian Counselor video. And I'm also going to be having Ozzy and the Messianic Maniac on my channel to talk about the soul. And if I don't kill myself, I might be on Steve's channel tomorrow night to talk with Ozzy. I might kill myself. I haven't decided yet.
Gee, you wouldn't miss a chance to talk to Ozzy.
Get him on the
I
show.
love Ozzy.
We all love Ozzy.
Oh, no, is
Sorry,
she going
what?
to get Armin on her show?
She's going to be talking
I've
to
already,
Armin.
I've already spoken to Armin a
on
bunch
our
of
show.
times. I
Our
spoke to Armin
show
like
or
an
her
hour
show?
ago.
He's
I've
already
had
gonna
Armin
be-
on the Heathen Hour, and I've spoken to Armin a couple of other times. Like I speak to Armin all the time. Armin's great. You can't get
He's
hold
a
of
good
Armin.
guy. He's quality.
We
people,
we're
man.
right now. Oh,
I
we'll get
booked
to
him on
Steve.
Non Sequitur yesterday, even though Steve started a war against him.
No,
While Steve was starting a war against him, I was literally booking him. That's what's
Don't
fucked.
start that. I like the guy. I have nothing. The guy's been very cordial to me. I have nothing
All
bad
right.
to say about
Armin is
him.
fantastic people.
Yeah, why would you
But
say
I
that's
was
so
like
wrong with
booking
them?
Armin with Kyle at the
Yeah,
same
why
time
would-
that you
why
were
would
like, Armin, what the fuck is
Why would you have
happening
such a
here?
war
I
with
was
him?
like,
I'm
and I was like,
not
holy shit, I just
I
sent
told him I liked his
DM.
videos.
I was like, come on, Non sequitur. Non sequitur is a great show.
Seriously.
They'll be great to you. And Steve's like,
Non sequitur. Non sequitur is at a stage in its development where it's just below the big mainstream. I mean, it just needs
Non
one more
sequitur is one
notch,
of the
and it's
best
going
shows.
to hit fucking millions of viral. I see non sequitur as blowing up to like
We can
you
hit
know
the
that
algorithm. I don't know
you know
why.
that you know that cable TV
You're
is
doing
dying.
quality. You're doing great work.
No.
Just saying.
Even David
You're doing great
Pakman and the Sam Cedar and all
David
the
Pakman
Joe
was
Rogan.
on the non
Minority
sequitur show.
Report.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Majority Report and all that shit. Yeah.
I see them getting up there with
But
fucking
it's
Sam
just-
Cedar
Doing
and
Am Kokish. Yeah, we've had
They have debates that you don't even like realize. Like they had Nathaniel Jeanson
that was awesome.
up against fucking like
Herman Mays.
With Herman Mays. Like
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was on the pre-show for that with John Perry from fucking Stated Clearly. Like
Yeah.
how
We had Lawrence
like
Krauss on for
they
Pete's
have Lawrence Krauss.
sake. Yeah, we were good ones.
How are they not
they
at like a
can-
million
Because
subscribers?
I
Every time I'm on the Net Sequitur show, I'm like, this is
And-
what
Well,
they're
people
driving.
don't watch, but that's the
one
people
time
need.
I-
That's what we
TJ
need
said
in
it.
this world.
DJ said it. A rising tide lifts all boats. There are big channels out there that have gotten big pretty quickly. We haven't. But if we get big, then everybody who's involved with us, like Shannon, they'll get big. It's so it all because I mean I think she should have 100,000 subs already. So I mean,
You're
You
silly.
Yeah.
should have a fucking million subs.
you know I'm one of your biggest fans. We bicker
Shannon
like
and
kids.
Paul, I see Shannon and Paul
Paul
having to
should.
combine at some point. They're gonna have to combine their shit and
You're
join
just
forces.
We do very different things.
Yeah, their
We're not
content is a
even
little bit
similar.
different. I think they should.
Not
I think,
even close.
I think their content should be kind of separated.
Well,
I like-
Shannon's bigger than Paul right
bigger
now.
than him,
but
actually.
No, I'm
But he-
not. Paul's
No,
on
yeah,
you are bigger
30,000
than
and I'm
Paul.
at 10.
You're
Paul's at
more
30,000,
okay. Let's
I'm at
put it
10.
this way: you're more important culturally.
No. She is
No, I like Paul's stuff an awful
more
lot.
on the lips
I'm
of.
sorry. Hey, I'm
They're
sorry.
good things.
I had to say that.
Shannon's
but
more
it
on the
is true.
lips of your normal atheist on YouTube
That's
right now.
because I'm a slut and I go everywhere.
Paul has
No, you
any
would
channel will take Shannon.
say that.
No,
Why would you
Paul,
ever say that?
no, Paul is a good producer.
She's much more respectable.
Just like
than
me.
that.
No,
just like
Paul is one of the best theologians
He's very good.
that
He knows
you'll
his shit.
ever come across.
He's an anti-theologian.
Honest to
Not a
fuck.
theologian.
No,
Here's the thing.
that's the thing. I'm
Listen,
saying
I
theologian
have read
because
the
he
Bible 4
understands
times. I've read the Bible
He
4 times.
understands
I've read the
theology more
Quran
than-
4 times in 4 different languages. And
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I do
You're
reserve.
saying more
No,
relevant.
no,
Go
no.
up
I
against
do.
Paul. Go up against Paul, Jim. Go up against
Yeah,
Paul.
good luck with
He
that.
was
I-
a
I won't go against
Bible
Paul.
believing
Hell no.
coach.
We would agree on
I
everything.
dare you.
Yeah,
I dare you.
No, what I'm
Oh.
saying
Paul will
is,
crush you. He would crush you like a
Paul
grape.
will
no,
destroy
I will
you.
reserve myself to the fact that Courtney is becoming the face of this channel, and I'm cool with that. And I will reserve myself to be in a production.
Have Courtney defend you. There you go.
So where you your lane.
Yeah, we're not saying that we don't
Good
know
save, Jim. Good save.
know how the fucking recipe
No,
works.
No, I know my lane,
We
and
know- yeah, we
even
know
though
how-
Stay in your lane, Jim.
I will stay in my lane, I will stay behind the camera. I don't give a shit. Anyway,
Jim, do you
Steve,
know somebody?
final
Oh,
thought.
No, I'm
And-
done. Let's go. This was great. Good luck to you guys. Like I said, I think all the channels as they get bigger, we all benefit from them. Hopefully, in this next year, we're scheduled to get. We may break 68 to 80,000 this year. Hopefully, I think Shannon is probably. You probably, if you look at your future projections, you're probably around 30,000 for this year.
I don't
How to
look
guess?
at them. I have no idea.
But you know, I mean, just share all these videos. So if you share this video, it helps all of us, and you share all the other videos. That's the key thing. The metric has to pick up shared videos. It wants to see that URL out there. If it does that, then you get on the algorithm and you get recommended more.
You go on Social Blade, don't you?
Yes. Oh, you need micro analytics.
Don't never go on Social Blade.
Oh, I check analytics. Damn right.
Really?
Shannon and Fair Whisper, do you guys ever go on Social Blade and see your like actual
I
score?
used to, except I hide certain aspects of the analytics of my channel for the public, and therefore Social Blade doesn't get them either, so it doesn't make sense to. And also, I'm not under any illusion that I'm ever gonna be working towards being internet famous. I've been internet famous on a different site before, and it wasn't my favorite thing to do. But like,
Whoa. What were you internet
What were
famous
you
for
internet
before?
famous for?
I gotta know.
Well, also for discussions, but also for my music on a streaming site that no longer exists. That now they have a version 2.0 of that sucks and that you can't live stream from. So I mean, not internet famous. I had like 50,000 followers on there.
I have some music that a few people are following on the internet too. Back from when I was like actually producing music.
Can I tell
And
them?
like, yeah, my SoundCloud does pretty well. I mean, there's been like thousands
Can I
and
tell them
thousands
your
of
story?
views on my SoundCloud.
I'm gonna tell you guys this story right here. This was last night when TJ got so drunk playing League of Legends. He got beat. He got his ass beat, and he destroyed his keyboard. And this is
Hulk smash that.
no
shit,
that
man.
the rest of the keyboard is in the fucking trash right now. That's the caps lock right now.
Nice.
Sorry,
Yeah, I threw it down strong.
dude.
I had a
You
strong
gotta
fucking throwdown
chill.
game, dude.
I played World of Warcraft
when
for
you're
years.
sober,
and I
you're
never
good at
played.
I'm good when I'm sober.
When
but
you're
when
drunk,
I get
you
drunk,
fucking. I've seen
suck,
you.
dude. And I
I
think
PV
I'm
better.
great.
I PV best when I've been drinking because I've been.
I
bad at
feel
it.
like I won
No.
the competition because
It's
I
a
drank
fine
from the
line.
beginning
Yeah.
until
Oh, it's a fine line, yeah.
there.
Honestly,
You're right.
when
It is a fine line, but once you get that peak, once you get you get that just as much. PvP, man. When I was a fire mage back in the day, man, I was like pew 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 pew.
Fire mage.
Everything dying around me. I had like top kills, top damage. Just
talking
nobody
World
could
of
kill me.
Warcraft
I was
To
I
be
was
fair,
indestructible.
though, League of Legends is probably the most anger-inducing game on the
Oh
fucking
my
planet
god,
right
it
now.
is it is the
Pew,
worst
pew, pew, pew.
fucking environment in player versus player combat.
Try arena battles in PvP in World of Warcraft. I did that for 4 years straight, for 6 days a week, nonstop. It was more than a second job. It
It
killed.
is literally the
It
worst
almost
thing
killed
that
my
you will
fucking
ever go
marriage.
through in your
Yeah, no.
Don't get started.
If you actually even look it up, if you just Google worst community on the internet, League of Legends has been number one for about 10 years.
You're gonna get about fucking
TJ,
100 fucking articles
before you
about League
leave,
of Legends.
do you have any final thoughts?
I'm not leaving. I'm just gonna go.
No,
take a
we're
piss.
about to end this. I'm putting a bow tie on this shit. Do you have any last final thoughts?
I hardly knew ye. Lisa, my bow is, man, I wish this would never end and we could just perpetually, continually, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, have a fucking awesome, badass fucking discussion with all the people that we love.
Come to my channel. That's what I do twice a week.
All day, every day, and just that's
crazy.
If I could change it up a bit, I would get RJ Downard in here. I don't know why I didn't.
I love RJ.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying
RJ Downard, that would
RJ
be
is a
like
smart
the
dude.
icing on the cake.
Identity.
I would just wish that's my wish.
RJ is a walking encyclopedia of
Yes, he is.
I could just always just be in contact with you guys and always talking to you and always fucking just having this fucking same conversation.
I don't want to leave, but I got to put a bow on this.
I never want to leave it.
All right, so
but-
does anyone have any? I really don't want to leave. I just have a feeling.
Let it go, man. Let it go.
Yeah, okay. Any final thoughts, anyone? Anything safe grounds?
Yeah, actually, real quick, if you don't mind. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I just realized I said something. Remember earlier I said something about me and Ocean Keltoy having a conversation?
Yeah.
All right. It kind of came to like the guy's pretty nice guy. I was saying something about him ceding to my original premise, which he did. But what he showed me in retrospect was that, like, for instance, maybe what I've been seeing with Steve, you know, and there's no ball coddling going on here. I'm just thinking this might be possible. I'm coming in at the tail end of some of these conversations, maybe, where Steve's already had the reactionary response. So maybe that's been my perception, and I'm willing to look at it that way and just move forward from there. But I just wanted to touch on that so it didn't seem like I was being a condescending ass about Ocean.
No, fuck
That's
me.
a really good point,
Fuck
and that's what
me.
happens all the time on the internet. That happens.
Yeah.
Even the
No.
conversation between me and Anti-Ordinary at the beginning of this was because of something like that. It's like people, and there's like, it's not just between the one person and the other person. It's between the one person and half of the internet and the other person and half of the internet. And wherever you come in the conversation and whatever, just like Shannon said, oh, I know that girl. I know she's nice. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the conflict, but that's what happens with everybody who's in any type of disagreement on the internet. It needs to stop. People need to understand that having a disagreement and having a discussion is something that will help the
Do you
world.
agree at
Not,
least in it?
Exactly.
Do you agree?
She's exactly right.
She's right. She's
I
right.
literally just made a video about that with
Yeah.
Telltale.
yes, it was a really good.
Oh, did you?
Why?
Yes, you
Oh,
did.
yes.
Actually, yes, you did.
What's
Yes.
You left in the middle
So
of the
yeah,
chat.
I
okay,
did
so-
leave, but that was not
Wait,
because of your video.
Yes, I know,
He's-
because I asked you to
well,
talk to
I'm
me. Yes, I
establishing
know.
that
I remember.
she's-
I know who you are now.
other stuff. She's
Yeah.
watched us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even have it out yet, but there's a big one on homeopathy we just did.
We're about to do a homeopathy
with Matt
expose.
Dillahunty.
Yeah.
It's
Well, we had
You
the
need
Q&A.
to end the live stream, and we need to go offline. I think.
Yeah, we're
all
doing
right.
it as a.
We're gonna go offline, guys.
Go.
If there's anything else you guys got, thank you
Oh,
so
that's
much.
fun.
5,000.
Thank
Hey,
you.
5,000 subscribers, and I know we're doing this late. We're close to 6,000 now, but we're not going to do a Mr. Atheist thing and go from 5,000 to fucking 100,000. I don't know how he did that. Yeah, but
Girl Define. Do a Girl Define response video. A bunch of them.
what?
Insult
Do a bunch of Girl
PewDiePie.
Define response videos.
Ugh.
But Mr. Atheist does those already.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
how
love
he.
Pull my eyes out.
I love him.
Wait, before I stop. How do you think he did that? How did he go from 5,000 to 100,000 so quickly?
Because he's absolutely appealing.
On November 18th, there was something that happened in the algorithm that if you look at the metrics, it just went like this. And
What
something
happened?
caught-
What
I don't-
happened?
You have to catch the metric. If you get the metric, then you get promoted and you get recommended to a bunch of people. And you watch it go from like 30, 40, and all of a sudden 1,500, 2,000. It was on November 18th was that day, and his metric. And for some reason, he caught the metric. I don't know.
Bitch, man.
It happens with some channels. Yeah. So
Crazy.
he's recommended
Jimmy's
across the board.
appealing.
I don't even
I
care.
love Jimmy.
You know
Man.
what? If we get
Jimmy's my favorite.
0,000, I don't give a shit.
I-
0,000.
Thanks.
You're gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this no matter what. I
Yeah.
don't-
Hey, I have 370 followers, and I'm gonna keep doing this even if I only have 370 followers.
I have no idea how many I have,
Well,
but
Steve-
all of it is a
Well,
bonus.
Shannon has like 2
All of it
followers,
is a
and the rest are
bonus.
stock accounts, from what I understand.
Yeah,
Fair
it's all
Whisper.
stock accounts.
Fair Whisper, you keep changing your goddamn moniker, your screen name so much. You're Fair Whisper, you're Goddess of Edge, you're something
Edge
and this
Master.
and that.
Hey, we're edge
You gotta-
lords.
Ed Lord.
You gotta like stick with a screen name so people can start following you.
Well, I mean, if you do /Fair Whisper, you'll still find Goddess of Edge and
All
Edge
right.
Master.
All
They're all connected.
Hey, Steve.
What?
Thanks, buddy. We really appreciate all. We really, yeah.
Thanks, bud. Good job,
Thanks,
bud.
bud. Thanks, bud.
Melody is not in here anymore. Anyway, we're out of here.
You haven't been in here
Thanks,
for
guys.
3 hours.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.